Ladies and gentlemen, sadly this week here at Eastern View High School, we lost one of our beloved teachers. Jamie Parr tragically died earlier this week. At this time, we send our condolences and prayers to his family, and we'd like to take a moment of silence to remember Jamie Parr. Thank you very much. Throughout the game, you can go toward the black chain link fence here in front of the home stands. They are raising money, the Jamie Parr Memorial Scholarship, so they'd be more than glad to take some of the money for that scholarship they'll be raising in honor of Jamie Parr. And the orange shirt, she's waving her hand there, so please visit her throughout the game. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise as the Culpeper County Marine Corps GROTC presents the national colors being commanded by Cadet Milborn. The company being led by Cadet First Sergeant White, Cadet C.O. Hernandez, and Cadet X.O. Limison. Up front, 1st Platoon Commander Green, 2nd Platoon Commander Christensen, 3rd Platoon Commander Torres. The national anthem will be played by the Cyclone Marching Band under the direction of Adam Roach.
All right, well, we welcome our viewing audience to tonight's broadcast of high school football as the host Cyclones welcome to the stadium the undefeated Brooke Point Black-Hawks. I'm Mark O'Connell, joined as always by Steve Peacock, Johnny Krawchuk behind the camera, and our technical director, Nick Morris, back in the studio. Steve, welcome to the broadcast. Let's get started. I expect a very good matchup here tonight. Eastern View is always tough, and Brooke Point comes in 3-0 for a reason, and so they have balance and have some different things going for them. How do you see tonight's game? Let's start with our visitors, the Blackhawks. What's your analysis of them?
Well, good evening, Mark. It's glad to be here broadcasting another game tonight between the Cyclones and the Blackhawks of Brooke Point. What I see what they're going to try to do, Brooke Point on offense, is basically they like to try to get you misaligned. They like to get you in mismatches, so they have more players blocking than you do tacklers trying to get the ball. They have a good quarterback, Gabe Dombeck. He's a threat to throw or run. So defensively, Eastern View is going to have their work cut out for them tonight.
Well, let's talk about Eastern View too, because they're 1-1 on the season. They opened against Culpeper in the annual Cannonball Classic. They won that game easily, but then that game was played on a Tuesday, and they had to play Huguenot 4 days later on a Saturday. Huguenot put it to them, 53-13, I believe the final score was, but it was 19-13 at the half. And Coach Lowry told me, at that point the bottom just fell out. They lost at least 3 of their starters, and it was just a night not to remember in one sense, but also it was a huge gut check for this team, and I think that's something that they probably carry over into tonight's contest.
I agree with you, Mark. And I mean, they came off a big loss. Evidently, Huguenot's got a good team, But also in Eastern View suffered 3 injuries to their starters. I know Will Butler, Aiden Cook are not suited up tonight, and I forget who the third one is at this time, but we'll get that to you. But anyway, what's going to happen is that Eastern View is going to want to basically run their offense, short passing game, then bring up the run game. They're going to really want to try to dominate the line of scrimmage, but that's going to be hard because Brooke Point's pretty stout up front.
So we talked about Brooke Point being 3-0, and who have they defeated? Well, they beat King George 36-33. Then they beat Spotsylvania 41-20. Then last week they trounced Independence 54-7. You're wondering where Independence High School is? It's up in Ashburn, Virginia. That's also the home of Briarwoods in Ashburn. Team captains now meeting in the center of the field for tonight's coin toss. And we'll see how things shake out here momentarily. So your Eastern View team captains from left to right, of course, number 34 is Brett Clatterball. Number 69 is Brandon Weaver. Number 2, Jaheim Fry. And number 4, Detrez Gahagan. Brooke Point, members of that Commonwealth District, Steve, and of course those teams in that district are at least Class 5. Most of them are Class 6, are they not?
Correct. And again, we'd be remiss. We didn't mention, you're going to see his number called for Brooke Point. I think it's number 55. He's a real stout linebacker, and he's getting some schools looking at him too as well.
Okay. Well, Brooke Point has won the toss and has opted to receive here tonight. So they would like to get their quarterback, Gabe Dombeck, who, is a dual threat on the field. And they like to spread it out. They've got different players they like to get in the mix, and if you read the box score of any of their games, you can see a lot of players get touches and handle that football. And of course, if that's the case, then that puts a little pressure on the defense to say, you've got to account for everyone. It's not 1 or 2 guys that can hurt you. They can spread the ball out.
Right, and you got to remember too, we only beat them by a point at their place last year, and they had that Howard Coles, they were all running back. That he's gone on to play college. I don't know where at this point, but anyway, he was their everything running back last year, so he's graduated, and now it's up to Dombeck. He's their leader back there at quarterback, and he will not make mistakes. He's going to force you into a mistake.
Okay, so with Eastern View kicking off, that means Beckett Capolini, a sophomore, will do the honors for the Cyclones. Set to get underway here at Cylone Stadium. Wondering about the field conditions, Steve. We had a lot of rain this week, but it was dry today, so hopefully that won't be a factor for these two teams.
I think the field's in good shape from what I can do. Next week we're going to probably deal with rain showers.
Here is Capolini's kick. It's a short one. Going to be fielded near the 20-yard line. And on the return, watch out. This guy's got a seam. He's got the far sidelines, and he was one tackle away from taking it to the house. And that was Jalen Cox. Big special teams play off that kickoff for the Blackhawks. Puts them in excellent field position near the Eastern View 35-yard line.
That's not what Eastern View had to have right off of the big opening kickoff. Is lucky that it wasn't a touchdown. He got knocked out of bounds. But now, that's automatically now got the Cyclones on their heels.
So the Blackhawks, led by quarterback Gabe Dombeck, who engineers this spread of offense, they're going to take over here first down at the Cyclones' 36-yard line. Man in motion. Dombeck takes it. Got time, throwing. Open receiver near the 15-yard line, breaking a tackle and then getting inside the 10-yard line was number 11, Jacob Dalton. So Brooke Point comes out throwing, and Dombeck had time, Steve.
Well, Mark, that you just said it. They misalign you. They had 2 receivers in that pattern, and it looked like Eastern View only had 1 man covering. That was a pretty designed play by the Blackhawks. 25
yards on the play. First and goal from the 9 for the Blackhawks, threatening early here in this opening minute of this first quarter at Cylone Stadium. Official says start the clock. This is Dombeck in an empty backfield. Going to throw near side. This one nearly picked off. He had the chance there. Let's pick up that number. Johnny moved to the right. There you go. That's number 7 for Eastern View. Cam Roy. Didn't Coach Lowry talk about him in our coaches show?
Sure did. And if he hadn't looked up, he had to look that ball in, but he was going to the house if he caught it.
Yeah, he had nothing but real estate ahead of him, and you don't get those plays back, but you know what might have been.
Yep.
All right. Well, Gabe Dombeck is going to line up back there momentarily.
We've got equipment.
We got a player coming to the sideline there. That's number 3, DeAndre Brock. And then checking in, it looks like number 9. Maybe. Hard to pick that one up. Is it Philip Tyree? All right. Dombeck, your quarterback, wears jersey number 9. And behind him, or beside him rather, is Anthony Robinson. Robinson gets the call. Straight ahead he goes, and he runs into a stone wall. Ball was down. Play is dead. And 2 or 3 Cyclones in on the play there to stop that one. That brings up a 3rd down here, and an opportunity for this Eastern View defense to turn them back and maybe limit them to a field goal. We'll see.
That was a good run stop right there by Eastern View. Like you said, now they're in 3rd down, and now we're going to see Eastern View really, man up here on defense and get a man on a man, because they're going to try to misalign you right here, and they're going to either do they might do that RPO, run pass option.
Yeah, and I was thinking they looked good with the pass on their first play from scrimmage, but maybe it's hard to pass when you're in tight like this and such a short distance to the goal line. We'll see what they draw up here on 3rd and goal. Well, they're going to play option. Dombeck's going to throw it. He's into the end zone. This one incomplete. That was intended for Javier Hubbard. Brings up 4th down. Will the field goal unit come on? I don't see any changes yet.
See, Mark, that was that RPO I was just talking about, and it almost cost Eastern View, but a good heads-up defensive play.
Well, this was set up with the kickoff return that brought the ball out to the Eastern View 36, and then that pass play to Jacob Dalton moved the ball down to the Eastern View 9, but Brooke Point has kind of stumbled at this point. Let's see what happens here on 4th down and goal from the 9-yard line. Dombeck has Anthony Robinson to his left. Man in motion. They fake it to Robinson. Now they throw it. This one's caught and tackled short of the goal line. Was number 7, the receiver, and that was Javier Hubbard, and Jaheim Fry, I believe, makes the tackle for Eastern View, Steve, number 2.
That was very good play, defensive play by Fry. Keep him out of the end zone, and that's right there. That's a good, as I want to say, basically, to start their offense right now, because it looked like Brooke Point was going to keep marching up the field, but good stout defense by Eastern View was able to stop that threat. But now you're deep in your own territory, Mark, and Brooke Point's got an outstanding defense.
Well, you've got to feel good about it if you're the Cyclones, because Brooke Point had 4 chances to punch it in from the 9-yard line, unable to do so. Here's Hull on the quarterback keeper, and I think our first penalty flag may be coming in as well. Let's check the spot. The line of scrimmage was a 4. He got out to about the 12.
Yeah, it's going to be holding. It's going to come back against Eastern View.
Steve, we need to take this time, as our public address announcer did before the start of tonight's game, that the Eastern View and the Culpeper community and the Culpeper Media Network, everyone very sad about the recent passing of Eastern View High School English teacher Jamie Parr Charlottesville, who passed away on September 10th, 2024, just 45 years of age. So we send out our condolences to the Parr family, and more to talk about that perhaps later.
Likewise. Now look, they had a flag for holding, but they're still at the 12-yard line.
9:50, clock ticking, no score, first quarter. As Hull rolls to his left, got an open receiver here in the flat. Over across the 30, 35, 40. Makes some moves, still on his feet, down the near sidelines was number 4, Detrez Gahagan. Big play for the Cyclones. Well, you talk about giving your team some breathing room. They went from the 4-yard line out across midfield.
Well, we can go to replay on that, Mark, and watch what happens right here. Where Hull, he gets the pass. Now he's being pursued by 4 Brooke Point defenders, and this is like a screen pass right up to Gahagan. Good pass and good run. They say he stepped down about almost at the 50-yard line.
37 yards on the play, and a big first down for the Cyclones. Good field position now at their own 49. That's Gahagan in motion now. He sets up. Here's Hull. Going to hand it off. This is Fry. Hit initially near the line of scrimmage and then dove forward, picked up a yard at midfield. Well, you know, localsportshistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at localsportshistory.com. All right, this is 2nd and 9 for the Cyclones at midfield. Low snap, Hull fakes it, now he throws on the slant, and he's got Clatterball, big target, and Clatterball fights for additional yardage. He gets down to the 35-yard line. That's a 15-yard pickup for Clatterball, and another Cyclone first down.
Good catch, a good pass, good catch by Clatterball for the first down. And he's coming off for a second. I think he's got something wrong with his. He's just getting a little breather. Just getting a little bit of a breather right now. But yeah, that was a good play. Wide open, and he was able to get it first down.
So 1st and 10, Cyclones now at the Black-Hawks 35. Here's Hull. He's going to keep it, looking for a block, and they trip him up near the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd and long. All right, this broadcast brought to you in part by Able Heating and Air. Answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system, there's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. 8 minutes, clock ticking. First quarter, we're scoreless. Brooke Point started the game on offense, and they were denied the ability to punch the ball in, even from 9 yards out in 4 plays. Big stand by the Eastern View defense. Then they come back, and they had moved the ball down to the Blackhawk 35. Hull has time, and he throws. He's got a receiver going up forward. He had it for a moment and then dropped it after the hit, and that receiver there was number 7, Cam Roy. So 3rd down coming up for the Cyclones and about 12 yards to go.
And this is where they missed Will Butler. See, Will would have gone up a lot with a 6'4" frame and able to snag that one out of the air. So they're going to have to make adjustments without one of their star receivers.
It's like the receiver really had an opportunity to bring that one in, Steve, just so that we don't hold on to it. Now, Clatterball goes wide right. And at the bottom of your screen there is Cam Roy, number 7. Here's Hull. He hands off Jaheim Fry. Fry makes a nice move, picks up nice yardage. He's going to be about 4 yards shy or 5 yards shy of a first down, and that brings up 4th down and a decision for Coach Lowry and his staff.
I think they're going to try to go for it. I don't see the punter coming on. 4th and 6. So even if you try a, trick play, try and draw off on sides, it won't give you a penalty. It makes it, 4th and 1.
Well, we got a timeout on the field, and our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and of the Culpeper community. UVAcreditunion.org. Well, how about some other games in action tonight, Steve? I know Orange County is playing up at Liberty of Buellton, and I don't think Liberty's not having the season that they've had in the past. And then also Culpeper, they've really made a long road trip up to Falls Church to play Meridian, which is formerly George Mason High School.
And their first ever meeting. They've never played against each other. But I understand Meridian's got a strong team. They won in convincing fashion last week.
Yeah, I didn't know how they did. But I think they're still Class 2, aren't they?
No, Meridian's Class 3.
Are they? They've moved up? Okay.
They just were this little enclave in Falls Church, but it's gotten bigger and bigger over the years. Sort of like what's happened with Brentsville.
Okay, well, after this timeout, the Cyclones come back onto the field with a 4th down and 6. And the ball is at the Brooke Point 31-yard line.
And they better get the
AP Hull has Jaheen Fry alongside him. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Here's Hull. Protection seems to hold. He throws downfield, going up for it. This one is picked off. Intercepted by number 0. That's Corey Reed. So, Steve, both teams sort of in position to strike, and yet both defenses turned them back.
Well, you go right here. Let's go to replay on this. And watch Brooke Point get the rush on Hull, and he was able to stay in there and in that pocket and step up and threw it. But again, he just, that's like I said, he missed Will Butler back there. You go to a shorter receiver, and that number 0 for Brooke Point, he's also got some colleges looking at him. He just went high pointed the ball, touchback.
And out to the 20-yard line. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 540-547-3673. Here's Don Beck and the Brooke Point spread offense. Here comes some pressure. Turning away from it, in trouble. Don Beck steps away from it again, looking downfield for a receiver. He had one, and he threw it a little bit behind the intended receiver, and that was number 1, A.J. Guzman. So Don Beck was in trouble twice. They got him. They were close, but not close enough.
You're right, Mark, and that's what gives them a big dimension this year. Another for Brooke Point. He is hard to take down. He's hard to sack. He's going to move around. You got to stay disciplined. That's what we said in the pregame. Stay disciplined on defense.
And like we've talked about, stay aligned, know your assignments, and that's really the key tonight for this Eastern View defense. All right, here is 2nd and 10 from the 20. Dombeck going to throw again, this time on the slant, and the receiver took a nice hit, and a penalty flag comes in, and this looks like it's going to be probably going to be assessed against Drew White, number 13.
They're going to call targeting, Mark, and that's not a hit. He just made a good hit.
Let's see. Is it 13? Yeah, I think it was 13. Drew White.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Let's go to replay. You can see it right here. Here it is right there, and it was a pass right. Now, when you bring Brett Clatterball into like blitz, he gets picked up, and the receiver goes right behind where Clatterball was, but there's the hit, incomplete. To me, that didn't seem targeting or a personal foul. He wasn't leading with his head.
I was going to ask you what point, what was the point of contact? Was it shoulder or head? So, and that's exactly what it was, though. That's the signal, Steve.
And he's going to lose the target, and he gets thrown out.
Oh, wow.
They're going to lose him for the game.
Big penalty.
Yep.
In that sense.
Yep. And they're going to who's it on and who's it. You have to.
Well, unless I'm mistaken, I saw it on number 13 of Eastern View, Drew White.
Well, he didn't get thrown out. Maybe when they were throwing targeting, I thought he got it out, but that was not targeting.
Okay, here is 1st and 10 now for the Blackhawks. And they have the ball at their own 35. We're in the first quarter, 6:51, clock stop. No score yet. Dombeck has a man in motion. That's Javier Hubbard. He fakes it to the running back. Dombeck stepping up. Gets away from one defender and not the second one. They're going to tackle him or force him out of bounds near the line of scrimmage, which is the 35-yard line. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and about 10 yards to go. This broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
I just don't like that call when the officials now and targeting and everything. That, to me, it's not football.
All right. Pressure coming. Nice play fake out there, and they get the ball to the receiver, tackled after a 5-yard pickup. That was A.J. Guzman on the reception. Going to bring up 3rd down and 5.
That was a good play. The way they executed by Brooke Point. Looked like it's going to be just a little dive play up the middle, and
Right.
then Dombeck held the ball and threw it out there on the flat, but still great defense by the Cyclones in limiting him to maybe, 2 yards.
Well, picked up 5. It brings up 3rd and 5. And we're approaching the midway mark of this first quarter at 6 minutes now and counting. Brooke Point looking to get a new set of downs by picking up 5 yards here on 3rd down. Let's see what Eastern View's defense can do. We got a whistle and we got stoppage.
Yeah, this is going to be against Brooke Point.
Is this a delay of game?
Yeah, no, it's too many men.
Oh, okay. Push them back to the 35 again.
No, it is delay. You're right.
And so rather than a 3rd and 5, we go back to a 3rd and 10.
Now, again, just Cyclone defenses. Make sure you got a helmet on somebody.
All right, Gabe Donbeck, the quarterback, this time an empty backfield. 3 receivers to the left, and 1 comes in motion. Donbeck looks this way and fakes it. Here comes some pressure. Runs away from it, at least for the moment. Throws on the run. Got a receiver open out there near the 40-yard line. And then down to the 35. This is, again, number 11, Jacob Dalton. He had that big catch on 1st down to start things here tonight. And that's a big 1st down for Brooke Point, Steve.
That's a big 1st down, big play. And you see how Dombeck was running around back there. I mean, we couldn't get to him, and he is that elusive. And when that happened, we kind of lost our concentration on the back half of that defense, and they found a seam, and now they've capitalized.
To the tune of 30 yards on that reception. 1st and 10 Blackhawks from the Cyclone 35. Eastern View showing pressure. Here they come. Does Brooke Point pick it up? It looks like they do. They got a receiver out there at the 30. Makes a move and a cut, and gets tackled down inside the 20-yard line. And that is Corey Reed. And Brett Clatterball brought him to the ground, but not until the receiver had picked up 15 yards and another Brooke Point 1st down.
And again, that go back to the personal foul has kind of given Brooke Point some life here.
Well, it really has. And you're talking about how key a call like that can be for a team, either for you or against you. Donbeck looks to the sideline there for some signals. He's got Corey Reed beside him. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Reed, they fake it to him. Then they throw sideline incomplete. Good coverage. And that was Jaheim Fry defending against number 5, and that's Craig Guyton of Brooke Point. 2nd and 10 now from the 20. 4:11, clock stopped after the incomplete pass. That's the time remaining in this scoreless first quarter.
And Mark, you're right about Dombeck. He's going to, in the 4th quarter, we better be in shape because the way he's running around, our defensive linemen are already gassed.
Well, they hand it off. This is Robinson, the ball carrier. Short gain. He may have lost a little footing. Clatterball in on the tackle. Ball at the 18-yard line. He only picked up 2 yards, and it brings up 3rd and 8, rather.
And see, they've moved Brett now into the middle linebacker spot, and I like that call because that gives them a good run stopper right up.
It is 3rd down and 8 yards to go for the Blackhawks, who started this drive on their own 20-yard line. They had that big penalty that helped them. They also had a couple long pass plays. Here comes some pressure. Brooke Point picks it up. Incomplete pass thrown behind the intended receiver. And that was Craig Guyton. And now 4th down and 8 from the 18.
Big 4th down. I don't see him running out a field goal kicker here.
Looking to the sidelines to see what the coach wants to do. I think it's head coach is Hazelwood, is it not?
Yep, yeah. Sure. And they're still deciding here.
Yep. Ball marked to the 18. 3:28 to play first quarter. So not set up for a field goal attempt. Instead, it's 4th and 8 for the Blackhawks from the Cyclone 18-yard line.
Make sure they find their receivers.
Okay, here's Dombeck. Who's he going to throw it to? He's going to step up and now throw end zone. And this one looks to be caught for a touchdown. It is by Craig Guyton from 18 yards out, and the Blackhawks strike first. It's touchdown Brooke Point with 3:20 to play. And Steve, it was a drive that started on their own 20-yard line. Had a couple big pass plays. They also had the penalty, but Dombeck was he was elusive enough in that pocket to create some time.
He did. He created some time, and you got to give that receiver a lot of credit. He toe tapped, and we need 1 foot down in high school, and he got it in there, and it was well defended. You couldn't defend it any better than what Eastern View did. Just that they made a good play.
All right, and their place kicker is Tyler Morrison, and the holder Grady Alton. On for the point after. And the kick is up and good. 7-0 our score in favor of the visiting Blackhawks. And we'll tell you this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center at 825-2200. Well, Steve, how do you break down that scoring drive by Brooke Point? We know what went right. What went wrong for Eastern View?
Well, I thought it was a bad call by the officials on that personal foul targeting play, and that gave Brooke Point some momentum, and then the elusiveness of Dombeck. I mean, if you're going to get Eastern View chasing him all night, they're going to be worn down. So it's imperative now for the offense to get going and to consume a lot of clock. Just give that defense a rest because Dombeck's a hard person to bring down. He's probably their best quarterback we've seen, Eastern View's seen so far this season.
And you know, you think about the Eastern View defense, there had been several plays where it looked like they probably had him, but he had just enough savvy and smarts to, with his footwork and everything, I really think he was able to avoid a lot of the pressure and be creative.
He was, and he created on his own. That's the big thing, and you've got to be disciplined against this Brooke Point offense.
So 80 yards, scoring drive, capped by the 18-yard touchdown pass from Gabe Dombeck to Craig Guyton, and the point after sums up where we are score-wise, as here's the Brooke Point kickoff, and the return man for Eastern View is number 10, and he brings it out near the 35-yard line. That was Jordan Hopkins, the return man for Eastern View. And decent field position for AP Hall and company. And let's see what sort of offensive mix they bring about as they bring their offense on for the second time tonight, Steve.
Well, they're going to have to, like I said, get some, cut down on any mistakes. You've seen what they're going to do defensively, Brooke Point. So now you just got to have offense just execute.
So AP Hull and his teammates will start this possession on their own 34. Hull going to hand off Jaheim Fry. He's got a seam, makes a player miss. He's got more running room. Actually, I believe this is not, this is number 10. This is Jordan Hopkins, Steve.
Yeah, let's take a look at that replay, Mark.
I believe, let's make sure we got this got the number right here. It is number 10, Jordan Hopkins. You expect Jaheim Fry to be the main ball carrier, but Hopkins off that kickoff return, they decided to give him the ball from scrimmage as well. And
on this replay, you can see he just broke a couple tackles, a simple dive play right up the middle, breaks it outside for a big gainer.
I think to the tune of about 43 yards to be exact. The line of scrimmage was the 34. That's 16 in midfield and down to the 23 gives you another 27. Steve, that's 43 yards.
Yep.
Basic math, and it's a big one. Down to the 23. Now this is Jaheim Fry as a penalty flag comes in, likely going to work against Eastern View.
Yeah, I think somebody jumped. See what the call is. False start.
Think about how important it is, Steve, for Eastern View to answer Brooke Point's scoring drive here.
I think it's very important. And see, they went with a run right there, but Brett Clatterbaugh had the inside slant wide open. I mean, all Hall had to do was look right up. But penalty's going to bring that back. He was wide open. And that's where, Hull's got to come in. He's got to make sure the offensive line gets some good blocks and can, contain their man and let Hull back there and pick them apart.
See the scoreboard clock, or clock rather, at 2:20 here in the first quarter. 7-0 Brooke Point. On second down, Hull hands off. This is Fry. Tried the right side, took a pretty good hit after he picked up about 3 yards. And Brooke Point's Khalil Ashford Potter rather, in on the tackle.
Yeah. A little loss of yardage on that play.
Yeah, he did lose yardage, didn't he? Mm-hmm. No, I don't think he did. I don't think it was any games. They moved the ball back to the 27 after that penalty. So it looks like maybe actually netted a yard, Steve, at the 26. But it's second down and 14. All right, here's Hull. Looking to pass. Going to the end zone, and this one's incomplete. And this was intended for DeAndre Brock. I think he was looking for a penalty flag.
Yeah, I was. I was wondering why, you're quick to throw it in the other team. I mean, you definitely got pushed. Maybe he thought the ball was uncatchable.
Well, on the incomplete pass, it brings up 3rd and 14 for the Cyclones, and the ball is at the Brooke Point 26. So, big third down here. I know we say that a lot. What would you draw up, Steve, if you were the offense coordinator right here?
Well, you got man-on-man coverage with Brett Clatterbaugh with this short corner. Mm-hmm. And I'd be looking for him or maybe a draw play by Hull.
With Jaheim Fry behind him. On 3rd and 14. Here's Hull. Gonna throw it. He's looking for Clatterbaugh, who goes up for it. He catches it from 26 yards out. What were you just saying about Clatterbaugh?
Wide open right there. Fear the wind. It's a Cyclone touchdown. Hull to Brett Clatterbaugh. And how many yards is that, Mark?
26 yards.
26 yards. Way to get back in this ball game. But I just said it. He's matched up on that small corner. I'd be going to him, and that's what Hull did.
And he did, and yet it was really the size advantage for Clatterbaugh because the coverage was there.
Yeah,
that's just where you're out physical.
Yeah, the
physicality on the part of Clatterbaugh is the difference there. Nice pass by Hull, by the way. Capolini on to try to tie this ball game up. And the kick is up, is good, and good. We're tied 7-all with 1:45 to play here in this first quarter at Cylone Stadium. So we talked about how important it was, Steve, for Eastern View to match Brooke Point's scoring drive, and they did it. It didn't take them long either. 6 plays, 66 yards, and they capped it with that 26-yard pass from Hull to Clatterbaugh, and then Capolini's point after is good, and we are tied up 1:45 to play. Well, we came in, and you didn't have to exactly go out on a limb to say this, but when you look at both these teams, how could you not expect a competitive game tonight?
Right. I agree with you, Mark. We have a real competitive game going on. That was very important, though, for EV to answer that score by Brooke Point, and they did it. They did it in like 6 plays. They got good blocking up front, and they were able to execute.
So, Beckett Capolini has teed it up for Eastern View. Will be kicking off momentarily to Brooke Point, and both teams have, I think both teams have showed us they have some big play capability on the kickoff teams. So let's see what happens here. Here's Capolini's kick. This one is going to be fielded just inside the 10-yard line. Now across the 20 out to the 25. Is the return man there? And that is number 7, Javier Hubbard. So average field position this time for Gabe Dombeck and company. Let's see what the Blackhawks, how they plan to respond to Eastern View.
And Eastern View better. Let's get back on defense and don't allow Brooke Point to march down the field like they did. You want to force them into long, third down plays.
Looking at the score there and the time remaining. 1:40 here in this first quarter. Brooke Point, Eastern View tied up, 7 apiece. That much time remaining, and Brooke Point back on offense, and they're going to start this possession from its own 25-yard line. Here's Dombeck. He's being pressured, stepping up. Can he get it away from black jersey? So far he can. He's across the 30, steps out of bounds at about the 32. And he ran for 7 yards on the play. And again, they were close to him, but just not close enough.
Not close enough. He's, like you said, he looks like they got him trapped. And he was, move around and get loose, and make a big run.
That time to the tune of 8 yards, and he had to run a lot to get 8 yards. But the 2nd down and 2 coming up here.
I'm going to go real old school. It reminds me of real old school quarterback Fran Tarkenton.
Oh, the scrambler. Yeah, he could really make people miss.
That's right.
And it was so frustrating if he weren't pulling for it. Why can't they tackle that guy? Dombeck throwing, receiver near side. Caught on a little short out route there.
By number 21.
21. That is Grady Alton. And a first down for Brooke Point.
Brooke Point's just using their short passing game. They're not, and then if they get that going, then they're going to try to hit the long one. We just got to be a little bit more disciplined in defense.
Well, they spread it out. They got 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Dombeck going to throw again. This one he had a receiver. He overthrew him on the slant, and that was intended for number 11, Jacob Dalton, who has a couple big catches so far in this ball game.
Yeah, and I obviously thought Eastern View could have intercepted it and taken it too. So Dombeck's throwing some dangerous balls out there.
But we mentioned, if you look at the box scores after these games, they have so many different players, Brooke Point, that that tend to touch the ball throughout the game. So it's hard to key on any 1 or 2 players. And in this spread attack, 4 receiver set. They fake it, then they swing it out to number 21, Grady Alton, and Alton gets near midfield. They're going to mark him out at about the 47, it looks like. And that looks like a pickup about 9 yards on the play. And it is. Going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Okay, that's what I thought you might
have got it. 3rd and 1 right there. Yeah, so the line of scrimmage was the 38. Then he moved it to the 47, so he only needs a yard for a first down. So it's 3rd and 1 there. You can see the clock, 1:07 to play here. In this first quarter, we're tied up 7 apiece. 3rd down and 1 for Brooke Point. They do go to the run. And pretty good effort there by both the running back and the defenders, because he's close to a first down. I'm not really sure he got it. Yeah, actually he did. He only needed a yard, and that's about all he got, Steve.
He ran into Brett Clatterbaugh, and Brett had put him back. I thought it's a generous spot, though, by the official. I thought he was short.
Must have been a forward progress call.
It must be, but that was a good tackle there by Clatterbaugh. I mean, he came in and stuck him. So
it seems like if you get by Clatterbaugh, your forward motion ceases to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like none anymore here. So who called timeout?
So do you think Brooke Point, Steve, really more pass-oriented and then uses the run when it needs to?
I think so, but they use Dombeck the way they use him. He's got a good arm.
Yeah.
And he has that scrambling ability. And basically, they're building his offense around him. They're doing an RPO, run-pass option. They're letting him make the decisions, their coaching staff is, on the field. If you watch, when they rush him and think they got him trapped, he does that pivot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of gives him momentum and leaves our defensive linemen, who are not always the most agile, and they're like tackling, it looks like they're tackling air because he's gone. So you got to make him pirouette back into the strength of your defense. So maybe you want to attack more from the outside than trying to run up the middle.
Very well said. All right, well, after this timeout, Brooke Point comes back out of the huddle, go back to their spread. Gabe Dombeck, the quarterback, of course. And they have a 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. 52.7 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock here in this first quarter, in which we're tied 7 apiece. Dombeck fakes it. Now he's going to throw deep. Good coverage out there. This one caught, however, inside the 25-yard line. There's a penalty flag as well. This one was caught by Craig Guyton. And let's check the call here.
I think Guyton might be offensive pass interference. I thought he pushed off, but see what the official.
It is pass interference, but it works against the defense. Of course, they decline it because if you would take that penalty,
Right.
they mark it off. Well, you wouldn't take it.
Again, though, I thought the receiver pushed off on our defensive back, but because he was right there. But again, you got to get a hand up or something to that receiver to make sure he drops that ball.
Well, he picked up 24 yards on the pass play and another Black-Hawk first down, and they're in Eastern View territory now at the Cyclone 28, where the clock continues to run. You're seeing it there on the bottom of your screen. Gabe Dombeck, the quarterback, going to swing it out to his running back there in the backfield. He makes a spin move, and he gets hit hard at the 20-yard line. And with Clatterball making the tackle for Eastern View.
Again, Mark, they're ducking their heads. Eastern View defenders, do not duck your head. That's how you get very hurt. And if you duck your head, the offensive guy's seeing it. He just, pivots around you.
Well, it looks like Brooke Point's going to be content to let the final few seconds tick off this first quarter clock. And they have. So we've played one quarter here at Cylone Stadium, and we're tied up 7 apiece. Let's take a break, and we'll come back for the start of the second quarter after this. Stay tuned. You're watching Cyclones football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors. LocalSportsHistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at LocalSportsHistory.com.
More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service department and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive.
And as we start the second quarter, Brooke Point driving. They'll have it 2nd and 5 at the Eastern View 19-yard line. Gabe Dombeck, the quarterback, hands off. This is Robinson, straight ahead, and breaking a tackle and getting down to about the 10-yard line is Robinson, Anthony Robinson. And, first down there. It's going to be 1st and goal now from the 9.
He just lowered his head, Mark, and just like a battering ram right up through that, right through the defensive line of the Cyclones. They need to tighten up a little bit right there. You're trying to make an arm tackle. You're not going to bring him down with an arm.
Yeah, and they went from the pass back to the run on 2nd and 5, Steve, and certainly turned out to be a good play call for Brooke Point. Now, they've been here before. They had the ball down the 9-yard line to start on their first possession. They were unable to punch it in. Let's see if Eastern View can pull the same magic. And they get a little break here as the intended the receiver was A.J. Guzman. He was open in the flat, just didn't look the ball in and catch it.
Yeah, he was open, Mark, but he was looking to score before he caught the ball. But what's got me intrigued right now is number 11 for Brooke Point. He's breaking out wide as a receiver, and I don't think we got anybody within 6 inches of him.
You're looking.
Height-wise.
Thank you, Johnny. You're looking at number 11 there. He's got some height to him. He's had 2 big catches tonight for Brooke Point, hasn't he?
Yeah, but now they brought him in tight in the slot, so they're looking for him over the middle.
2nd down and goal from the 9 for Brooke Point. Dombeck fakes it, rolls left. Here comes some pressure, looking for some help, throwing to the end zone, going up for it and catching it, making the touchdown catch is number 18 of Brooke Point. And what did I do with that?
Yeah, that was right there again.
Here it is.
Not being disciplined on defense, Mark.
It's Makai Kelly. His first catch of the night, and it produces 6 points. So, 9-yard pass play. Dombeck connects to his, for his second touchdown pass. And it's 13-7 with 11:06 to play here in this second quarter. Tyler Morrison on for the point after. And the kick is up and good. So our score, 14-7 favor of the Blackhawks. And this was a drive that they started their own 25. And they had those couple, another couple big pass plays. They came back for the start of the second quarter, and they had it 2nd and 5 at the Eastern View 19. They moved it down to the 9. And that's where they were on their first possession on this end of the field. Eastern View's defense was able to turn them back, but not this time. What do you think the key there was for the Brooke Point success on that scoring drive, Steve? What do you think the difference was?
Well, the difference was they had a good run. They had a nice run in there, but it's Dombeck, the way he's able to escape, and either, he's with his and way he's throwing with the touch he has, I would say it's mainly him. He's orchestrating the offense. He's doing a good job at it.
Did you know that localsportshistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically? Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at localsportshistory.com.
Yeah, we got to see what the Cyclones can do, and then come down and answer.
This one's kicked short. Brooke Point says they have it, but do they? Did it go? Well, I guess it did.
I don't think it went 10 yards. They try to keep Eastern View napping. It should be Eastern View ball because it didn't go 10 yards.
Well, they're conferring. You could see that something was brewing with what this kickoff team was doing, because they didn't line up the way they do conventionally.
Right, and now the officials are sitting there having a powwow, but to me, it didn't go 10 yards.
But they were kicking from the 40, right?
Right.
So it had to go at least to midfield.
It's not even at midfield.
Well, it's actually on that Eastern View side of things.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Now, that's where that was fielded. So
I'm looking at the markers on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
They're determining, did it go far enough? Yeah, they called it.
Wow. Big play for Brooke Point special teams. Wow. They gambled a little, and it paid off that time. So the Brooke Point offense back onto the field after that onside kick.
And I hate to say them, but right now, Eastern View's getting out-coached with the way Hazelwood's using his offense. We're keeping our defense on the field too much.
Could be a factor later in the game when you talk about fatigue and that sort of thing. Well, let's see what Gabe Dombeck and company have in store for Eastern View this time. Anthony Robinson's in the backfield alongside the quarterback. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. From the 48-yard line of Eastern View goes Brooke Point. Dombeck being pressured. Somehow, he still gets away from it, and now he throws and gets rid of it, so he avoided a sack. And again, they were so close to nabbing him, Steve. So close and yet so far away, it seems like. No wonder you compared him to Fran Tarkenton.
He's got that ability, Mark. Certainly, this is the best quarterback we've seen so far, in our early season broadcasting right here. The way he's able to, he gets away. They look like they got him hemmed in. They're going to sack, and he squeezes through.
Do you think it's sort of, I don't know, like a sixth sense that he has or something?
Yeah, I think
where you just sort of feel what's coming?
Yeah, I know it's coming right now. Look at number 11 out here.
Yeah, and you mentioned that. They're going to load up this left side, this Brooke Point, with three receivers. And then one to the right. Dombeck looks this way. Then they set up a screen to Robinson. Robinson slipped, regained his footing, then turned upfield and picked up a nice pickup of about 7-8 yards on the play.
Again, right now, Brooke Point, I'm just impressed the way Dombeck is just executing his offense. And you're not going to stop him. You're not going to arm tackle him. You got to keep him hemmed in and not be able to. And that's what I'm getting ready to say is our defense, especially in the back half, the defensive back safety's got to be disciplined enough to stay with their man. don't go up there and be watching what Dombeck's doing, because then he's going to stop and throw it over your head.
Look at what they got going on here. Talking about some serious business to the left, right down at the bottom of your screen. 4 receivers there. Empty backfield for Dombeck, and he throws the other way. And this is the player you were talking about, the tall target in Jacob Dalton. He picked up another Brooke Point first down on 3rd and 4. They loaded up that left side. Dombeck looked that way, then immediately went back to the right.
Right. They had Eastern View full, too, because they looked like there were 4 receivers lined up here on the left side, and only one right there, but on the outside, and number 11, with his tall frame, easy to throw to. It's almost like handing the ball off.
I thought he had a first down. He's actually a yard shy. It's 4th and 1 here. We got movement against Eastern View, likely going to give the penalty against them, and then that'll give Brooke Point the first down they were looking for. They had 4th and 1. They were able to draw them off sides.
And you saw that coming, too. And it was, you got to be disciplined. And right now, Eastern View is not playing very disciplined defense.
Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. They load up that left side again for Dombeck and the empty backfield. He looks to his right. He pump fakes there. Back pedals. Now he sets up, throws deep. Got a receiver out there in the end zone. It's called, and there's a penalty flag as well. Going up for it, making the catch was Jacob Dalton. Nope, it is. Yeah, was it Jacob Dalton?
It was number 11. But
number 11,
off,
yeah.
But he pushed off, Mark. It's going to be offensive pass interference.
Oh, there he is, number 11. Well, he went up and made a terrific catch.
But he pushed off, and he did push off. So we go here and show it on replay. Here it is right now. You've got, pressure on Dombeck. He escapes and rolls out, pump fakes. Rolls out to his right, sees Dalton way down there with his big frame and heaves it up there. And watch right here. You can see where Dalton just pushed off on the Eastern View defender. Big play.
And, you mentioned earlier that they might have got away with that earlier in the game with the push-off. But it wasn't something the officials saw. Obviously, they'll bring it back. Line of scrimmage was the 34. So they'll mark it off now.
15 yards.
Yeah, all the way back to the 49 exactly. From the 34 of Eastern View to the 49, big 15-yard penalty. That would bring up 1st and 25. But if you're Dombeck and company, you got a lot of weapons out there, a lot of options at least. Let's see what happens here as Dombeck checks the sidelines for the play call. And they're going to split the receivers to the left and to the right this time. Robinson in the backfield with Dombeck. Stepping up, here comes some pressure. And this time they're going to actually get to him. The ball is loose. They say the ball was down, dead. But they finally got to him, Steve.
Yeah, they did. They got to him. Guess who was chasing him?
I'm going to guess a fellow by the name of maybe number 34.
Number 34. Brett got a paw on him, and it's kind of disrupted him. But
yeah, official time out there.
We've got an equipment issue with blood.
All right, let's see. They pushed the ball back now to the Brooke Point 41. Wow. And they've got to get to the Eastern View 25-yard line for a first down. So that's 25 and 9, 34 yards to go.
Jeez. But this is where I think the momentum is starting to shift a little bit here to Eastern View. And this is what they need. They need to force Brooke Point into making mistakes, and they did. Now they cannot give up a big 2 plays here and get them the first down.
Okay, 2nd and 34 from the 41. Back to the run they go. Good determined effort, but not much doing there because Corey Reed drew a slew of players in black jerseys. They stopped him after a short gain. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and very long.
Yeah, but now you really want to dial up the pressure on Dombeck, but don't give them a running lane to run either. Make sure your safeties and your cornerbacks keep everybody in front of you.
All right, well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 540-547-3673. Dombeck on 3rd and 33 from the 42. And we have a whistle.
think we can get a timeout, Eastern View.
Timeout looks like taken by Brooke Point. And our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and of the Culpeper community. UVACreditUnion.org. 7:51 to play here in this second quarter. 14-7 is our score in favor of Brooke Point. And they had a touchdown called off because of the pass interference. It would be probably 21-7, but it all counts. And now Brooke Point facing a third and very long here, Steve.
Coach Lauer's just telling his defense, look, the big third down here, don't let him get a big play right here. Let's get him, force him to punt.
So Dombeck operating with an empty backfield. Let's see what he draws up here on 3rd and 33. That's A.J. Guzman in motion. Dombeck rolls to his right, looks downfield, throws, got a receiver caught at the 40, and that's going to bring him, about 15 yards shy of a first down?
Sure is. And again, that was a big pickup there, but not enough on third down. But see, Brooke Point, I think, still going to go for it here.
Well, I think you probably do at this point. I'm not sure. Down to the 41, picked up 9 yards. Gave him a little breather room. They still got a good ways to go. Again, they've got to get to the Eastern View 25 for a first down.
I think a quick kick here might work.
It's 4th and 16. That's exactly what they do, except they have a whistle to blow this one dead, and this is going to be a false start against Brooke Point. Push them back 5 yards. Well, you called it a clatter ball.
Yeah.
Touchdown catch, and then the quick kick.
I just saw them the way they were lined up. And I said, this is going to be a quick kick. When I saw number 11 move, forward, and he shouldn't have moved. He had to move laterally. That's who was offside, false start is on him. He kept moving forward. He had to move to the side.
So now, mark it off 5 yards to the 46 of Eastern View.
Are they going to do the same thing? Let's see.
Well, with this field position here, you got to figure they'll punt it, don't you?
Yeah. But it'd be
you don't want to give Eastern the ball near at midfield. Well, there'll be no quick kick. Dombeck looking for some room to operate. Finally throws it downfield, heaves it up there, incomplete. Now Eastern View will take over on downs with excellent field position.
Yep, good play, good way the Eastern View defense did on that series, Mark. And they kept Dombeck semi-pinned in, but he's impressing me. I hate to be calling his name all the time, but he's just.
Well, he's earned it. He's obviously a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that he, like we've said, I mean, it looks like they have him, and he figures out a way to get away from it.
Sure does.
They've got him once. But now, good news for Eastern View is that they forced the turnover on downs, and now they have the ball at their own 46-yard line.
See if AP can, start running and get some good chunks of yardage here.
All right, this is Hull. Looks right, throws over the middle, got a receiver, and this one is at near midfield. Let's check the number there. That is number 15. Mason Settle on the reception.
He got popped.
Picked up 4 yards. 2nd and 6.
But he's a big kid, too. Maybe they start throwing to him. He's got some length on him.
Yeah. 15, he's sort of similar in height to Will Butler, isn't he?
Yep. He's probably younger, though.
Well, they have him listed at 6'4". Will Butler's at 6'4". Ball is loose, and Hull has to pounce on it to avoid the turnover.
Again, right now, Mark, Eastern View's offense, it's the little things, the lack of concentration right there. And Hull dropped the ball. He was looking downfield, so he was going to throw it to, and you got to, first off, take care of the football. And, right now, the little mistakes are hurting you.
Well, they lose the yards they had gained with Settle, and now it's 3rd down and 10 from the 46 for Eastern View. You look at the clock, you look at the score. That's where we are. Brooke Point with 2 touchdown passes tonight. Eastern View with 1. That was Brett Clatterball on the receiving end of that one. And that's where we are score-wise. And here's 3rd and 10 for the Cyclones from their own 46. Here's Hull rolling to his right, looking downfield. Got a receiver near side. It is Clatterball, and doing some nice dancing along that near sidelines for an Eastern View first down. He gets down to the Brooke Point 37, it looks like, 38.
See, that's a good play there by Clatterball because he was able to keep him in bounds and toe tap it, and in good hands too, catching that football.
16 yards on the reception, and an Eastern View first down.
How important it is for Eastern View to go in at half tied up.
Yeah, and they will be receiving the third quarter kickoff, second half kickoff, rather. 1st and 10 Cyclones from the Blackhawks 38. Okay, here's Hull. Looks like he's got plenty of time. He winds up, heaves it downfield. This one incomplete. Penalty flag is down as defending on the play was Jaden Anderson. Let's check the call and the intended receiver there, Steve. Eastern View, I couldn't pick up the number.
7, Kagan. It's Brooke Point.
7 is Cam Roy.
Cam Roy. Yeah, he's going to be a pass interference against.
It is Cam Roy. He was the intended receiver.
Pass interference on Eastern View. On Brooke Point. That's 15 yards.
All right, and then they begin to mark it off now.
That'll be a Cyclone.
That would move it to the 23, I believe. Yeah, 30. Yeah, 23. Line of scrimmage was the 38. So now from the 23 of Brooke Point, Eastern View has 1st and 10. Timeout taken by Eastern View.
Timeout Eastern View.
Well, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. 14-7 our score with that much time remaining, just under 5 minutes to play. We mentioned some of the other games in action tonight. Culpeper on the road, and I mean on the road, 66.
To Beltway, inside Beltway.
Isn't that like the last exit you make off of 66 before you get to, was it 490? What is it, 495?
Well, yeah, it's 495, yeah. But see, 66 goes all the way down now to the Pentagon, and you know, down there and pick up Key Bridge and everything else. So
isn't that the area that we sort of generally like to avoid?
Yep, exactly. But Falls Church is in, you got to go over the Beltway, and you get off 66 somewhere in that.
I don't know about you, I've actually been to what was George Mason High School many times over the years because they were a rival of Madison. I would see them in different sports. And we've been up there for Culpeper lacrosse.
Oh, okay.
And over the years. Hull trying to set up that screen. They had it out there, unable to connect.
They did have it. They did have it. That was a good play call, but he just couldn't execute it because they were coming in on Hull pretty quick. He had to hurry his throw.
Yeah, that was incomplete pass. Score stops the clock. 2nd and 10 now from the 23-yard line. Clatterbuck in there to the right in that slot position.
And that's where I'd be going.
Cam Roy wide right. This is Hull faking it, keeping it, 15-10, makes a cut, 5 end zone. Touchdown from Hull from 23 yards out.
Fear the wind, AP Hull, 23 yards out, Cyclone, touchdown.
Comes with 4:47 to play, and the Cyclones are a point after away from tying this ball game up. But you might as well say, never mind, because it looks like they're bringing it back for a holding.
They didn't see that laundry on the field.
So strike that play call. Holt was looking good on a 23-yard run, but they're going to bring it back for the holding, and they mark it off now.
Big penalty right there against the Cyclones. They had the touchdown. You take points off the board now. Now you put them in, what, 2nd and long?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch who was holding, but.
Yeah. It just strikes me a little bit odd at how that played out there at the end while they have the ball marked they do. But in any event, 2nd down and 9, they call it. Hull, quick throw, clatter ball, gets hit. Ball is loose. He fumbles on the play. Let's see who's got it. Brooke Point says they do.
That's bad. That's Brett usually doesn't make turnovers like that, but he took a helmet right on the ball.
Yeah, they put the hat right on it, and that'll pop it out of there. It's not, it can happen to anyone, but
Yep.
You don't expect it to happen to Brett, but you put the hat on the ball, and good chance it's going to pop out of there. That's exactly what the defender did. So Brooke Point, not only was Hull's touchdown brought back, but now Brooke Point forces a turnover, and they go from what would have been 14-all to still leading 14-7, and now back on offense are the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I'm just like, look at the turn of events right here for Brooke Point and what the turnaround it is. We were going in, we had 6 points taken off, and then we had the penalty for holding. Then our next play, we fumbled the ball, and there was a scoring opportunity gone, and you don't do that against good teams and expect to win the ball game.
Yeah, but, a close game. We've got 14-7. It's anyone's game. Clatterball right there on the edge now. See, they've moved him there. On the slant, this one incomplete, and they had the receiver. It was Craig Guyton, unable to hold on to it. 2nd and 10 on its way. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. All right, 2nd and 10 from the 19. You're looking at the score and the time here in this second quarter. We've talked about how impressed we've been with Brooke Point's quarterback. Eastern be able to get to him once so far, and this time they might make it number 2, except he was able to heave it and avoid the sack. Now, Eastern B wants an intentional grounding call.
I think it should get it because it didn't get to the line of scrimmage. He was in the hands, and he threw it out of bounds, but he has to go at least past the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to debate it.
Well, Coach Lowry mentioned that, this quarterback is a very good one. Smart, makes good decisions, and, if this results in no penalty, you could say that Don Beck made a good decision there.
Yeah.
Because he got rid of it to avoid the sack.
He did that. I know he did.
They're certainly talking it over. Let's see what the call is. And the man in the white hat says no penalty. Incomplete pass, rather.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder what. So, yeah, it wasn't no intentional grounding.
Right.
Incomplete pass.
Brings up a 3rd and 10 now from the 19.
Now, I'd dial up another blitz if I were Eastern View. Make, Brooke Point earn it.
Mm-hmm. You could really force something right here, couldn't you?
Yep.
When you think about the field position and that sort of thing. All right, here's Don Beck. They load up that left side again with 3 receivers. He looks that way, steps up, pump fakes, going to keep it. He's in the open field, breaks the tackle, still on his feet. They force him out of bounds after he gets across the 35-yard line. He got about 16 yards on that run, Steve. Well, do you think that was designed from the beginning, that was going to be a quarterback? Yeah.
It's going to be a quarterback draw. I mean, he's just looking. He sends out, trips on one side and receiver on the other, thinking it's a good pass formation. And he was letting Eastern View really rush. They're putting on a hard rush right up the middle and lets him go right on by, and he goes for 16 yards.
Sure did. Out to the 36. Talk about giving your team some breathing room. Don Beck did just that. Three receivers to the left, one to the right. Clatterball showing pressure. They run past him with Robinson straight ahead. Lowered his shoulder, got across the 40 out to the 41. And a pickup of 6 yards on the play, making the tackle, number 13, Drew White for Eastern View.
And also 34 too, Brett was in on it.
5 yards, 2nd and 5. Clock continues to run. So plenty of time here for Brooke Point, Steve, if they're thinking about methodically moving down the field and adding a few points to this lead.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, they want to go in either more points before halftime or at least keep Eastern View from getting it before half.
2nd and 5. Back to the run. This is Robinson. Robinson fumbled the ball, and it's loose, and Eastern View looks to have recovered it. And they do. So turnabout fair play with the turnovers here. And so Brooke Point gives it back.
Good play by the defense. They put a hat on the ball or punched it out. And Brooke Point trying to say it was the ground, but no, it was out. So now, see if we can sit. We've got plenty of time, Mark. 3:24 here in the first half. To go down and make it interesting, see if we can put points on the board.
Well, Eastern View before their turnover had the ball at about the 46. And after a few minutes, they get the ball back, and they're back about where they started from, except this time it's right at midfield. And they still have plenty of time, 3:29 to play, 3:24 here in this second quarter. And Hull will hand off to Fry. And Fry take a big hit, hold on to it. He's shy of the 45-yard line, picked up about 3 yards. Bring up 2nd and 7.
I would just like to see Fry run a little bit lower to the ground, lower his center of gravity a little bit. He's better than he was last year, but he's still got to get a little bit lower to take on those, and put a pad on pad.
And now Brett Clatterball, wide right. And I think Mason Settle is wide left. Here's Hull. He's going to swing it out of the backfield. And I believe this is Fry, and it is. And he gets down near the 40-yard line. It'll be about a yard shy of a Eastern View first down.
It was a good play call right there.
First down. 3rd and 2 for the Cyclones.
3rd down and 2 here.
Yeah, I just think this is 2-down territory if they don't get on the first.
Coming to the right side this time, wide out Mason Settle, and he and Brett Clatterball switch positions as Clatterball wide left, top of your screen on 3rd and 2. They fake it to Hopkins. Hull keeps it. And he tries to stiff arm one defender, and they bring him down after about maybe a yard pickup. That was a good open field tackle made by Brooke Point's defender there, Steve. And that was Viviance Young. So now 4th and 1.
I didn't want to be critical there, but Hull's strength is running it up the middle, not getting it down to the outside. And right there, that his lack of speed to get into that corner hurt him right there, and only a 1-yard gain. You got to give the Brooke Point defender credit.
All right, so 4th down here. And they need about 2 yards to move the sticks. Will they try to draw him off? Yes, they're trying. They fake it. Hull keeps it. Hull going to be denied. And they were able to get to him some in that backfield before he could get untracked.
Yeah, that was poor play developing. It took a long time to develop, and the penetration by the Brooke Point defense really caused that play to get blown up.
So now Eastern View turns it over on downs. Brooke Point will go back on offense. Excellent field position at their own 42, but they're down to 1:08 to play in this first half.
And now, see, they still got to play some tough D. You don't want to give Eastern View, Brooke Point, anything here. You want to make them, run out the clock and without surrendering any points.
Well, if you're Gabe Dombeck, what are you thinking? You got 1:08. Do you risk it? Do you play it conservatively? I sort of think you go with what brought you here.
I do too. I don't think you get conservative here.
3 receivers to the left. Dombeck looks this way, swings it out to his running back out of the backfield. Robinson overthrew him, incomplete.
Yeah, that was one of the bad passes, few bad passes Dombeck has thrown. Threw it behind his receiver instead of on a screen like that or a little flare, you want to lead him.
Yeah, and Robinson looked like he had a little room to operate out there. But it was a drop pass and brings up 2nd and 10. Clock did stop with that incomplete pass, though. Again, Brooke Point sends 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Corey Reed now in the backfield alongside his quarterback, Gabe Dombeck. Now, let's see if the blocking holds up. It does, as Dombeck completes this one to Dalton, who got across midfield out to the 49, picked up 9 yards on the play, and brings up about 3rd and 1. They go hurry up offense here. Dombeck pump fakes, showing another more footwork. Penalty flag comes in. That may be a bad block as an incomplete pass. This one intended for Javier Hubbard. And let's check the call, Steve.
There should be a holding against Brooke Point. Looks like number 4 is coming down bad. He's got a cramp. 4 for Eastern View.
Oh, for Eastern View. Petreska Hagan.
Yeah, looks like he's got a cramp. Holding against Brooke Point. Back in the old days, old school, you have a trainer or somebody, assistant coach around. Take these salt pills. Take these salt pills.
Yeah, salt tablets.
Yeah, salt tablets do away with your cramp.
Yeah. So have you tried pickle juice for cramps?
No.
It works.
I heard it does.
It does work. And you'll love the taste. Especially late at night. You know, you're craving something to drink, or you go to the refrigerator, you start swigging down some pickle juice, and you're living right.
Rocks.
I kind of like mine straight up. But, you know, it's not the most flavorful thing you'll ever drink, Steve, but it does work.
All right. I've heard the other thing is that the pickle juice people now are brining their chicken in it. Mm-hmm. And you fry it.
Yeah.
Dill pickles, not bread and butter.
All right. Well, they moved him back with the holding penalty, and it's 3rd down and about 11. Dombeck in pressure, under pressure. Somehow he gets away from it. Now he heaves it downfield. And this one, they're going up for it, incomplete.
He's got an arm on him.
Yeah, and defending that time was DeAndre Brock. Maybe he went down with a cramp.
Yeah, we did.
And they go out to attend to him, and the incomplete pass should bring up 4th down. We've got, 26.2 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock.
Yeah, and I would think Brooke Point here is going to punt it. I don't think they want to go for it here on 4th and long and give each of you a few cracks at the end zone with about 30 seconds left. But yeah, it is warm out here. It'll get, season goes on. Got October to go through.
Well, Sunday is the first day of fall, but that doesn't mean the thermometer is going to cooperate, though.
No. Well, it's supposed to be raining. It might be raining.
Is it supposed to rain this weekend?
Yep, starting tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Thunderstorms and showering. Pretty much unsettled all next week, they said.
Yeah.
But.
All right, so we come back to action here in a moment, and Brooke Point faces a 4th and 11 from the 41. Now, they might punt this one away.
Quick kick it. Well, I mean, you got 4th down.
Well, I think that's Dalton behind Dombeck there, Steve, that receiver. Yeah, that is Dalton. Now he lines up as a receiver. 4 to the right here. Quick kick, just like you've called. And there's nobody back there.
Just going to let it run.
Yeah, and it takes a Black-Hawk roll inside the Eastern View 20-yard line. We'll have about 12 seconds for Eastern View's offense.
And if I was Eastern View, just take a knee and go in at halftime down 1. You don't want to throw a pick here or a fumble, risk a bad play, and then they give points on the board right at half. So
Well, and particularly since you know you're going to get the ball to start the third quarter.
yeah, just, hey, you're only down a touchdown. You're in this game. You got to quit making the stupid mistakes that were made in the first half.
Well, you know, I thought coming in, I know you agreed with us, that we could expect a close, competitive football game, and so far we've had that.
It is. I mean, I knew this was going to be a tough game.
But you know,
Thank God.
I mean, it creates some tense moments for teams, but you know, from a spectator standpoint, I mean, when you have a close game like this, they're more exciting than blowouts.
It is.
Right?
And this being a Division 6 team, the points are there will pick up the win.
Exactly. Here's Hull. He's got plenty of time, and he just airs it out, looking for Brett Clatterball down there, and good coverage. An incomplete pass. He'll have time for one more of those.
Yeah, we got laundry on the field, though.
Javier Hubbard was defending one-on-one against Brett Clatterball.
It looks like we might have holding against.
Single coverage.
I think it might be holding against Brooke Point. Defensive one. No, that's going to be. It's going to be against EV.
Yeah, they've marked it at the 14-yard line.
I'm surprised they did that. I would have just taken a knee and got out of there and go into the locker room and discuss and get ready for the second half.
Right, I agree with you, but then you got the what ifs.
Yeah.
We've talked about Brett Clatterball matching up against someone, and you think, well, you like that.
Well,
You know, what if he throws it and he breaks one tackle?
yeah, that's
What,
true.
you know? But they let the final seconds run down, and that's it. So we've played one half here at Cylone Stadium with our score, Blackhawks 14, Cyclones 7. They'll go to the locker room for the intermission. We'll take a break as well, and we will come back when the third quarter is set to begin. Stay tuned. You're watching Cyclones football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors. LocalSportsHistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at LocalSportsHistory.com.
More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service department and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive.
Well, welcome back to our broadcast. We are at Cylone Stadium where it's halftime. Getting ready to start the third quarter. Our score, Brooke Point 14, Eastern View 7. Mark O'Connell, Steve Peacock, Johnny Krawchuk with you tonight. Nick Morris, technical director, back in the studio at the Culpeper Media Network. All right, well, if you're just tuning in, you missed a pretty exciting first half. Steve, how would you break it down for both teams? Beginning with Eastern View, some of your takeaways for the Cyclones.
Well, the takeaways of the Cyclones, they're a little bit undisciplined at times on defense, but they've got to, and also they're dealing with a very elusive quarterback from Brooke Point. But they've hung in there. They just got to cut down the mistakes and get their offense a little bit on track. Try not to go for the big play all the time. Just get a methodical march down the field. Keep the best way you're going to beat this Brooke Point squad is you keep the ball out of Gabe Domberg's hands, the quarterback from Brooke Point. If you can do long, sustained drives, that's going to bode well for the Cyclones. So, interesting to see.
Yeah, and so, Eastern View's defense tried valiantly to get to Gabe Dombeck. They got to him, I think, twice, but he was, as you pointed out, so elusive and really savvy in that pocket back there. And again, and I think I mentioned it was as though he has sort of a sixth sense. He sort of feels the pressure, sees sort of, what's coming from the blind side and that sort of thing. But I would say that the first half also represents some missed opportunities for both teams.
I do too. I mean, Eastern View had a touchdown call back by penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Same with, Brooke Point.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're lucky that we're only down 14-7 because offensively, Brooke Point is dominated Eastern View from that standpoint. But what we got to get running, we got to get the running game going a little bit with Jaheim Fry and company. Even give Brett Clatterbaugh a couple toss plays. Loosen up that front four of Brooke Point and the linebacker. That's going to open up your passing game.
What do you think of Brooke Point's defense so far? They've held Eastern View to 7 points. Of course, as you pointed out, that Eastern View had AP Hull's touchdown brought back. But, Coach Lowry had mentioned that they're very physical defensively, and, they get to the football, and they've got some good athletes out there. I think they've sort of showed that tonight.
Yeah, they're very opportunistic, and that would be my way of describing them. But they, they were able to capitalize when they needed it, and they were able to come up with a big play when they needed it. And right now, Eastern View, I think it's so important right now. We get the ball to start second half. We've got to come away with points, I think, on this possession. Send a message that this is going to be in for, a bitter fought game here in the second half. So we're going to see what's going to transpire here. But and the also is, I think, Brooke Point has really done a couple of those little trick plays very, very well. They disguised them, especially on the onside kick, and then you got the quick kick.
Well, and exactly, and so they've really, I think Brooke Point has come in tonight with a pretty good game plan. And again, I go back to Dombeck, and Coach Lowry said, "Look, this kid can play. He's a good quarterback. He's a threat, obviously, to throw the ball. He's also a threat to run it, but he's so elusive in that pocket, and that's why I think you've compared him to Fran Tarkenton."
Right.
And of course, people pretty much have to be our age to understand the comparison, but anyone can Google the name Fran Tarkenton, and he was a heck of a scrambler. I mean, if you didn't like the Vikings, he'd break your heart.
And they used to play for the New York
and the Giants, too. Yeah, sure. I'm sorry. I just got pinned on your knee.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. All right, here's the kickoff. Keep it short. This one's going to be fielded and returned to about the 45-yard line. So I'm not really sure about that one, but Eastern View now the recipients of some outstanding field position as they bring AP Hull and their offensive teammates onto the field.
Yeah, I think Brooke Point got a little cute with that right there. Thought he could catch him on off guard with a little pooch kick, but way to EV was right there on it. So it was recovered, I think, by number 8 for Eastern View.
Dominic Simondinger. Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's see what Coach Lowry and Coach Jenkins and the rest of the staff have in mind for Eastern View's offense as we start this third quarter. And Hull will hand it off to Jaheim Fry, and he is hit in the backfield, stood up, pushed back, no gain on the play. Five white jerseys in the vicinity of the ball carrier.
Yeah, and of course Eastern View the fans wanted a penalty for pushing them off, but Eastern View's offensive line has got to get on track against its defensive line, Brooke Point. They're getting really out-muscled right at the point of attack, especially on that play. And we're going to see cramps all night long. It's hot and humid.
Yeah, looking at, I guess, our first one here this third quarter. They are painful, aren't they?
Yes, they are, especially in the calf area. But you got fluids. You got to keep yourself on a day like this. Your fluid intake should have started last night, and then this morning during the day it was warm. I get it. It was it's a school day, but you got to be able to stay hydrated during the days like this, because as it goes on, it gets cooler and colder. Cramps won't become much of a problem, but in this hot, humid weather, they are.
And that was Detrez Gahagan, who was having to deal with a painful cramp, and he appears to be okay. And he's coming to the sideline right now.
And I think
for a break. Mm-hmm.
I think he's had a couple cramps already in the first half. So
well, when they return to action, Eastern View has it 2nd and 11 from its own 44. Opening minute here this third quarter. And you see our score. Brooke Point, 2 touchdown passes. Eastern View, 1. Okay, here's Hull. Pressure, steps up, gets away from it. Hull going to keep it, pick up big yardage, points downfield for a block. He's still on his feet. Watch out, Hull could go the distance. He drags the defender to inside the 5-yard line. And saving the touchdown, at least for the moment, was number 25, Aviance Young.
Mark, let's go to replay on that one. Here it is, and you've seen the Brooke Point defense. They're really putting a hard rush on. Hull steps up. He looks so there's nobody in the middle. He takes off running, then cuts back across the field and almost was able to get in the end zone, but stopped him about 5 yards short.
52-yard gallop for AP Hull.
And now the official tells, is there a flag? There shouldn't be a flag. I didn't see any.
Is that a flag? No, that's a piece of, probably a piece of trash, that white.
Yeah.
See that near the official there?
I was going to say, where's
it's not yellow in color.
Because that would have been disastrous for, sideline warning. That's a sideline warning.
First down, and they mark it at the 10, rather.
They're going to give him a 5-yard penalty. No, it's only one. They don't give him. They don't move the ball. It's just sideline warning. If they get a next time, they will.
Okay, well, here's Eastern View in business. 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Hull being pressured and being tossed to the ground for the sack. And it was number 10, Jamari Bailey Ward.
And Hull couldn't get out of the way, Mark, because he's probably still dead tired from that 52-yard run. But there was no blocking up there. I mean, they overloaded to one side.
Yeah, lost 6 yards in a play, brings up 2nd and goal from the 16. Yeah, he came in there pretty quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, they loaded up. Again, they got Eastern View misaligned, even on offense, and they overloaded one side, and 55 for Eastern View couldn't block 3 people.
Okay, 2nd and goal now from the 16. AP Hull has Jaheim Fry behind him. Hull fakes it to him, gets away from one defender, makes a cut straight up the field and dives into the end zone for the touchdown from 16 yards out. And Eastern View is a point away from tying this ball game.
Fear the win. It's a Cyclone touchdown from AP Hull. And how many yards, Mark? 16.
14-13, 10-13 to play, 3rd quarter. And Beckett Capolini will be on for the point after with Jaheim Fry holding. And Steve, the long snapper there is number 18. That's Brock Gray. And, you know, a snapper never gets enough credit, does he?
Right. No, they don't.
Kick is up. Kick is good. All right, we're tied up, 14 all. 10-13 to play. We've got a whistle and some stoppage, though. Let's see what's going on.
It's a flag on the play, but it's going to be against Brooke Point. Might be assessed on the kickoff. We'll see.
It is against Brooke Point, exactly. All right.
Personal foul, so it will be addressed on the kickoff. So Eastern View has a chance to put them deep in their own territory.
Yeah, didn't take them long to put together a scoring drive. Well, did you know that localsportshistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically? Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at localsportshistory.com. All right, tied up, 14 all. Well, we talked about it being a close game and an exciting one. So far, we're getting that, and we've got a long way to go.
Yeah, and like I said, to get it tied up, Eastern View said right after halftime they have to go down here and score. I think that was very important that they did that. So. And
Steve, you were right. Penalty against Brooke Point, and they assess it on the kickoff, which is why Capolini is going to be kicking from the Brooke Point 45-yard line.
Now, you know, if you drive in the end zone, it's a touchback, comes at the 20. But I'd tell you, here's where I would pooch it and have you see if Eastern View can get to it.
Let's see what they try here. Straightaway kick, fielded in the end zone, automatic touchback. Brooke Point will come on offense for the first time here in the third quarter as they'll try to respond to Eastern View's third quarter opening drive for a score. And they made it look easy.
Yeah, they did. Now see if we can stop Brooke Point. Just got to hold them defensively. And we got to be a little bit more, I think more, not only aggressive, but more opportunistic on defense too. We got to make Gabe Domberg uncomfortable. If that means rushing him, we might not be able to tackle him, but keep him hemmed in and from making the big play.
And he really had to, Dombeck really had to work hard to avoid several sacks in that first half. I mean, his footwork and his sense of pressure are tremendous, but, you know, you keep putting enough black jerseys in that backfield, you're going to catch up with him eventually. They got him twice in that first half.
Yeah, that's going to be a false start. Delay a game, rather, against Brooke Point.
Push him back 5 yards to the 15, where it'll be 1st and 15. And Brooke Point will send 2 receivers to the left. That's Robinson in motion out of the backfield. Dombeck looks for the slant. He's got a receiver. It's Dalton. Caught it at the 25 and then picked up about 4 yards after the catch. That was Grady Alton, rather. Not Jacob Dalton, number 11, but number 21, Grady Alton.
Mark, I was thinking about Gabe Dombeck, the Brooke Point quarterback. But you know what? The other quarterback that reminds me, and he's already going and committed to USC, is that Henry Dalton from Dinwood. He was hard to bring down and scrambled a lot last year when Eastern View played Dinwood in the first round.
He's a bigger guy than Dombeck, isn't he?
He's 6'1", 6 foot.
All right, here is 2nd down and 1. They fake it. They swing it out to Javier Hubbard. They had a chance to wrap him up, couldn't do it. And then the second effort, he dove forward and knew exactly where he had to get for that first down.
Yeah, that was, we just couldn't wrap him up. Again, you got to wrap up. You can't just try to deliver a blow and think they're going to go down. And that's one big thing that now in today's modern era football, they all want to come up with a big hit, but they don't want to do fundamentals and wrap them up. He had them stopped.
One of the things you pointed out last week in that Culpeper win over Falk here is that they were making some good solo tackles. They were wrapping up defenders and how important that is, particularly when you have a chance for a solo tackle. You know, if you don't make it, you might not get any help for a few yards and things happen, you know. So here's 1st and 10. Another whistle and more stoppage.
You know, Mark, speaking of Culpeper.
Well, this looks like a timeout taken by Brooke Point. Go ahead.
I was going to say, for our Culpeper listeners, Culpeper fans, the Culpeper was beating Meridian 16-8 at halftime.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I haven't heard any scores now.
And Orange was winning big over Liberty.
Okay.
Who else did we hear? I think Madison was winning over William Monroe.
Right.
And I'm not sure if we had any other scores in or not.
I heard that North Stafford was tied, who they were playing.
Well, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. All right. Now, after the timeout, it's 1st and 10 Blackhawks from our own 30. You can see we're tied up with that much time to play here in the third. Dombeck's got some time this time, and he threw incomplete. And it looked like he threw behind the intended receiver, who I don't think he was looking back for the pass, Steve.
I agree with you, Mark. And plus, he had 2 other receivers wide open, and I didn't know where Eastern View was on that defensive setup. But they were lucky there that Dombeck didn't complete that pass because they had no one back. The safeties cheated up, and boom. Their defense is trying to rely a little bit on man, but you got to watch out with that tall Dalton.
Yeah, Jacob Dalton. I think Dombeck was looking for him, but Dalton wasn't looking for Dombeck. Dombeck this time, he's got a receiver on that slant caught at the 45-yard line. And that is Guyton, Craig Guyton, out to the 40. That should be enough for a first down, and it is.
And see, what we don't want is to have Brooke Point eat up all the clock here in the third quarter. But it's humming along right now, 8 minutes to go, 8:12.
And this is where if you're the Brooke Point offense and you're able to methodically move the ball down the field, you start taxing that Eastern View defense, don't you?
Yes.
All right, Dombeck fakes it and then throws it short to the receiver, and there's a penalty flag coming in as Javier Hubbard hauled it in on a short gain.
And it's going to come back.
It looks like we have an injured Eastern View player. It's number 24, Devin White.
Looks like it's Brooke Point is holding or blocking the back. That's another cramp. That's when you say, open up, son. Here's a lot of Gatorade coming right now.
Yeah.
Pass interference against Brooke Point.
Oh, pass interference, huh? That's a 15-yarder. That's even better. I didn't see how it was a pass interference. It was a little screen pass, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure which player interfered, but
They're still tending to him. Those things can be so painful. Cramps can. They just kind of reach out and just tighten right up in that leg.
how do they describe people? Are you sure this is a cramp, you think?
It might not be. They were raising his leg up.
Yeah.
Let's give Devin White a big round of applause here. So hope he gets back in the ball game.
Number 24, Devin White, junior, 5'10", 215. He marked off the penalty against Brooke Point. Back to the 30-yard line. And they have to get to the Eastern View 45 for a first down.
All right, now defense got to tighten up right here.
1st and 25 for Gabe Dombeck and his teammates. Dombeck throwing, picked off. Eastern View's number 3, that's DeAndre Brock. And I think this was off the hands of the intended receiver and right into the waiting hands of DeAndre Brock, and a turnover to Eastern View, Steve.
And let's go to the replay, and here you're going to see where DeAndre jumps the route. Brock jumps the route right there, and it's kind of underthrown. It's kind of underthrown, but he got in there and made a big interception, and that's a big play Eastern View needed right there. Now we're saying, is there a penalty after the?
No, I think they're just trying to get things set up here. Let's see. 30 at the 32. Brooke Point 32-yard line. 14-14 our score. Eastern View back in business here. And ball here. Here's another penalty flag that comes in at the end of this play. The running game there on that play with Jaheim Fry netted nothing.
And usually in the area holding. We'll see what the call is here.
The line of scrimmage was 32. Looks like Fry may have lost a yard or two. Well, let's sort this one out. We'll tell you this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 540-547-3673.
The hold of penalty declined.
Penalty was declined as a block in the back.
So makes it second down and 11. From the 33. And Hull fakes it to Fry. He's flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, incomplete. Had a receiver open at the 25-yard line, and it was number 15, Mason Settle. And he knows it.
Yep, as if he dropped that football. I don't understand why Brooke Point I guess
Didn't want the penalty.
Yeah.
Well, and they couldn't have known that Settle would drop the next pass, but now they have it third down rather than second. So I guess they wanted to give Eastern View one less down, right?
I guess. Yep.
Well, it's third down and 11. AP Hall set up the pass. Here comes some pressure. He gets away from the first defender. He throws it downfield. This one is caught. And into the end zone for a touchdown. It's number 3, DeAndre Brock from 32 yards out. And that gives Eastern View its first lead of the game, Steve.
Fear the wind. Cyclones touchdown. Hull to DeAndre Brock. What a catch. Good play call right there, Mark.
And how about the play by Hull to avoid that defender who was looking for the sack? He had to get away from one defender. He did. Threw the ball downfield. Nice pass. Brock makes a nice catch. Now, did the touchdown count? Because I don't see them. They haven't put it on the scoreboard.
There's a flag right there.
Imagine that. Imagine that, a flag. Can you believe that? We never have any flags.
I'm just like, what? Oh, my God.
Well, that would be the second touchdown
called back
against for Eastern View.
I mean, he threw it. He had it right there.
Let's check the call. See the man in the white hat here? Let's see what he says.
Holding.
Here it comes. It is holding. It's always that holding, isn't it?
Yep, sure is.
A pirate would say arg. Back to the 43-yard line it is. Now it is third down. And now it's third and 21. Now we got Clatterball back there. There's Clatterball. He's going to run with it. He's going to lower his shoulder, make somebody pay. He got back a lot of that lost yardage, and the defender is still on the ground.
Yeah, he did make him pay.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid got run over by a truck. Clatterball.
Yeah, and this is not a cramp.
No. He was punished right there. That's a good run, though, by Brett. He was just got it down there. Now, are they going to go for it on fourth here? Fourth and about 10?
Well, they haven't put fourth down up there yet. Is it really fourth down or is it third? Yeah, it is fourth now. They put on the scoreboard.
I would think you go for it here, but they got to get that Brooke Point player. He was. I think he's out, Mark. I mean, he took a blow.
Yeah, Clatterball picked up about 12 yards on that play, and then he made the defender pay. Well, we've got an injured player on the field. Why don't we take a break and come back when the action resumes? Keep it right here on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors. LocalSportsHistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at LocalSportsHistory.com.
More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service department and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive.
All right. Getting ready to resume action here on 4th and 9 from the 33. AP Hull. Moving to his right. Throwing. Got a receiver caught. It's Clatterball. Fighting for extra yardage. They blow a whistle to stop play. And he got down to the 20-yard line. Picked up 13 yards and a first down.
And Mark, I like the play call, and I like it that you're getting the ball into your best athlete's hands. You got it in AP Hull and Brett Clatterball. Two of the better athletes on this, or two of the best athletes on this Eastern View Cyclone team, and that's who you want to get the ball. You got to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers.
And a new set of downs for Eastern View as the clock runs here in the third quarter. You can see we're tied up. And this is Jaheim Fry. over that right side. Picked up about 4 yards, just shy of that 15-yard line. 2nd down and 6 coming up.
And, 12 points are off the board automatically because EV scored, but had penalties in their scores were taken off the board. So.
Right, so Eastern View's had 2 touchdowns called back, and Brooke Point had 1.
Had one.
Had 1, yeah. 2nd down and 6 now from the 16-yard line. Hull fakes it, keeps it, makes a cut, and is tackled shy of the 10-yard line. He got inside the 15, down to about the 13, picked up 3 yards. And Hull's a load to bring down.
Yeah, he is. He's 6'2", about 240. I mean, he's a big kid. But he doesn't bring the power like Brett does. Brett, you now know why Virginia Tech's all excited about getting him down to campus. Becoming a Hokie.
3rd down and 2. And Clatterball's back there alongside Hull. They snap it to Clatterball. Got away from the first defender, lowered his shoulder, got inside the 5-yard line, and gives his team a new set of downs. It's going to be 1st and goal from about the 3.
Good play calls right there. Who's cramping?
Well, Hull, he was up there blocking for Clatterball.
Yeah, I think he's cramping.
Yeah. Stays in the game.
Yeah, he's trying to walk it off.
And this was direct snap to Clatterball. And this time they're waiting for him in the backfield. And they'll stop him for a loss. 2nd and goal coming up.
Yeah, because AP, he's cramping. He's not down here on the field. He really couldn't get out of the way. Like I said, you got to get these kids some fluids.
Oh yeah, another player down. Yeah, just like you were saying. Well, let me tell you that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. And on that last play, Eastern View lost a few yards. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal. Let's check the spot. Looks like it's at the 8 now.
And who's going to be in the quarterback? It's going to be Brett. Looks like it is. Trying to get Hull. Want him back in, but they got to get him some fluids.
In that backfield is Clatterball, Jaheim Fry. On 2nd and goal from the 8. And a penalty flag is down on the field.
It's going to be a delay game against Eastern View.
Cost them 5 yards.
Yeah, the reason why, because it's 5 yards, is because when play resumes, he went off for a cramp. And then they just is walking right up there to the line of scrimmage. The official gives, after he gets off the field with the cramp, the clock winds, and that's why they 5 yards right there. And that was not a very smart play by Eastern View. Somebody should notify that and call timeout.
They had penetrated to the Blackhawk 3, moved back to 8, now back to the 13 where it's 2nd and goal. Clatterball is in there alongside Jaheim Fry. Clatterball will keep it. Clatterball looking for the end zone, and he finds it from 13 yards out. But he'll look for a penalty flag first, and this time I don't see one. Looks like that first lead will stick, Steve.
Fear the win. Cyclone touchdown. Brett Clatterball from 13 yards out. And Mark, you called it. He had it. He had that RPO run pass option, and he took the ball and right around that left side. Good call.
He thought about giving it to Jaheim Fry, and he said, "Nah, I think I'll just keep it."
Yep, he did. You were right.
Jaheim Fry will hold for Beckett Capolini. Capolini's kick up and good. Our score, 21-14. So Eastern View on top for the first time, Steve. They've had, 2 or 3 touchdowns called back?
Yeah, they have. And now
which one is it, 2 or 3? I'm trying to remember.
2.
Is it 2?
2.
Okay. And both of those, we'll see, one was by Hull they brought back, and one was a touchdown catch that they brought back. But they've moved the ball down. I mentioned this a moment ago, down to the Brooke Point 3-yard line. They went back 10 yards with 2 5-yard penalties, but Clatterball 13 yards out, and he made it look like pretty routine.
They made up for that mistake about, getting that delay of game. So Clatterball out from 13 yards out, ran it in for touchdown.
So we've got the momentum shift now to the Cyclones' way. 3:50 to play here in this third quarter. We mentioned Eastern View has its first lead of the ball game.
And Brett, I know he's worn out. He's had a big game. He's been all over the field. There he is on the sideline.
Well, they're going to have to ask him to do much more because we still got a lot of football to play, don't we?
We do, and they got to get AP Hull, get him some fluid so he won't be cramping up. Yeah, there he is. He's on the sideline. Look, he's got some.
All right, Capolini will kick off. Brooke Point looking for a nice return. Let's see if they get it. The short kick. Fielded on the run at the 25-yard line, straight ahead of the ball carrier. A return man out to the 40. And that was number 20 for Brooke Point. Nick Hubbard.
And number 32 for Eastern View on the tackle.
That was Dominic Thomason.
Good special teams player.
Good field position for Brooke Point, but now they find themselves having to come from behind.
And again, your star players shine in these moments, and so we're Eastern View. Got to be Clatterball leading on that defense. Put pressure on Dombeck.
It's been a good game, and a lot more to play. Dombeck has time. He throws. This one looked like it was going to be hauled in by number 21, Grady Alton. Couldn't do it after the contact.
Yeah, he got hit by his own man. Number 24 hit the defensive back. Is he cramping too?
Not real sure. The player's down at about the 45-yard line.
This game's going to take forever. Everyone's going down with cramps.
Oh, you'll be home by midnight. But you got a much shorter drive, right?
That's true.
All right. So this is number 7, it looks like. That's Cam Roy. You can see his jersey there.
Yeah, we're checking rubbing his calf, it looks like.
Really been Cramp City, hasn't it?
It has. Well, because it was hot during the day. I mean, you were out today. It was in the mid-80s.
All right. As they attend to him, we'll say this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200.
And it is Roy. He comes off. I said cramping.
All right, so Brooke Point trailing by 7 points here. Back on offense, starting at its own 40-yard line. Dombeck fakes it. Here comes the pressure, and he gets rid of it to avoid the sack. He had Brett Clatterball breathing down his neck.
Yeah, he was smart. He saw Brett coming closing fast and did what smart quarterbacks do, just throw it away.
Well, Coach Lowry talked about Gabe Dombeck as being a good quarterback and a good decision maker. He's proved that tonight. He's been under a lot of pressure. I mean, he's done some good things, but he's really had to work to avoid a lot of sacks here tonight.
Well, I mean, their other hard game they've had coming in here was against King George. They won by 3 points, so they're used to playing good teams. And right now, Eastern View wants to come out of here with a big win.
Now we got movement. It's going to cost someone 5 yards.
And their Eastern View today is going to be against Brooke Point, and I think it is too.
Move the ball back to the 35. Going to bring up 3rd and 15. So Brooke Point's looking at its fortunes changing here in the second half as compared to that first half.
Sure is.
And, of course, a big part of that, of course, has been the play of Eastern View.
Yeah, just thinking they had 2 scores called back on penalties.
Dombeck changes things up. Here's Dombeck. Flush out of the pocket. Fakes it, keeps it. He's at the 40, and that's it. Picked up the 5 lost yards. They're going to bring up 4th down and 10.
And now I think you're going to see a punt.
We got another injured Eastern View player there, Steve.
55. Cramping.
55 is Jaquan White.
He's got both legs. I mean, this right here, the trainers need to get together and something like this today. Those players should have been drinking a lot of fluids early this afternoon from lunchtime on. But, you know, you can say that's 2020, but I used to coach, and one thing is about, you know, on cramps is the lack of water, hydration. You got to hydrate.
Yeah, but Steve, I'm very disappointed to learn that you didn't dispense pickle juice back through the years.
Salt pills.
Back in the 60s, you dare not be drinking water.
Oh, no.
Water's for cowards.
Water's for, you know,
Just
what.
take those salt pills.
Just load them up. My coach, my mouth is all dry now.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're not cramping, son.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I guess we've learned a lot about human body and hydration since. And thankfully.
There you go. You got to stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, my friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
But when I do.
Stay thirsty.
Stay thirsty, I think. But when I do, I need water.
Yeah. But, you know, you think this is limited to a cramp here?
Yep.
Well, it's been really frequent, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, so we'll see. You know, maybe it is. Trying to get him off. Yeah. And it's either he's got cramp in both legs, or maybe they're just going to bring him sitting down.
All right. Well, here is 4th and 10. I suspect we'll see will we see the quick kick here? I think it's too early to go for it, don't you?
Yeah, I do too. I mean, you know, they'll maybe try to see if they can draw Eastern View off sides.
Well, here is Dimback. Now he's going to run and kick the ball. All right. And it's going to take a Black-Hawk roll down to about the 30-yard line.
Well, that was pretty unique. Quick kick.
You know, from here, it looks so many times like they've got him in their grasp, and somehow he's like Houdini. He gets away. But the good news for Eastern View is they have a 7-point lead here late in the 3rd quarter.
Just think if Dombeck was about 4 inches taller than what he is now and be able to do, he'd be wanted by every school in this country.
Have you heard anything about him in terms of the interest?
No, I mean, because he's short. I mean, he's 5'10". Haven't heard much. I mean, but he's their go-to player. You hear more about number 0 getting looks.
Oh, Corey?
Yep.
Corey Reed, yeah.
And also 55.
Okay, Eastern View back on offense from the 33. Jaheim Fry tripped up before he could get rolling there. Number 8, Wayne Robertson, making the tackle for the Blackhawks.
And now, I'm glad to see Eastern View's going to try to see if they can get a running game established, but they look out here with Clatterballs on number 7 with no help, safety help. I mean, you can do a little play action, send them on a post and see what happens.
All right, here's Hull. It doesn't look that direction. Looks the other one, and the pass is dropped. That's Settle. Mason Settle. Incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 9. So an opportunity here for Brooke Point's defense to make a stop and get the ball back to their teammates in a close ball game. And Eastern View looking to get a new set of downs. AP Hall, here comes some pressure. This one caught by a diving Brett Clatterball, and a penalty flag in on the end of that play.
I don't think it's going to be offensive pass interference. Brett went down to the ground, caught the ball.
I didn't see any contact.
I didn't either. It came from this back judge. Unless he saw a hold. It's there.
Oh, it is against Brooke Point.
Yeah, so decline that, take the play.
Declined.
Yeah.
Clatterball picked 14 yards on the reception.
Yeah.
New set of downs, and Clatterball is wide right. Who's the lucky fellow that gets to guard him? It's number 7, Javier Hubbard.
Yeah.
Ball is down on the ground. Hull picks it up. Here comes some pressure, runs away from it. Now throws it. He's got a wide open Clatterball. He's at the 10, 5, end zone, touchdown.
No laundry on the field.
Wow. 3 TDs for this Division I player, but nice job by AP Hull. And again, to avoid the pressure and create just enough time so he can get the ball downfield to his intended target.
Right, and then now there's going to have to play some sound defense because Brooke Point's going to want to score in a hurry.
Yeah, certainly the momentum has certainly switched in favor of Brooke Point. Now you're talking about a 2-touchdown lead, and they look like they're in command now. But you think about the way that the defense was able to stop Brooke Point's offense the last time, and the Eastern View's offense rolling now. It's like they've found their groove here late in the third quarter.
They have, and it was in good plays, and your star players stepped up. That's what I like to see. Clatterball, Hull, and give kudos to the offensive line.
Yeah.
There in this quarter. They really blocked very well. So
a 2-touchdown lead for Eastern View late in this third quarter, and it was our score at the half, Steve. It was 14-7, wasn't it, Brooke Point?
Yeah.
So you're talking about an Eastern View team that's outscored them 21-0 here in the third.
That's right, and they got to keep the momentum going here. And then stay aggressive on your offensive play calling, and be aggressive on defense.
All right, Beckett Capolini will kick off for Eastern View. And I think this one should be returned. It's bobbled on the ground, picked up inside the 15-yard line. Looking for some running room and not going to be able to find any is Jalen Cox.
Just a cadre of players down there.
Yeah, and if you drop it and you have to spend some time picking it up, get a handle on it, the black jersey is going to be a lot closer to you.
Exactly.
Once you're able to take possession of it. And very average field position for Gabe Donbeck and his offensive teammates. They had things going pretty well for them in that first half, but this second half so far has really been Eastern View's.
It has, Mark. You're absolutely right. I mean, they've come out in the second half and playing like they should have been playing. They wanted to get that loss from Huguenot out of that bad taste out of their mouth, and they're showing it tonight.
Seems like it took them a little while to find their stride, but there's no question Eastern View has found it as Anthony Robinson's the ball carrier. And he picked up about 3, brings up 2nd and 7.
And if Eastern View can hold on for this win, this would be a big win. It's a statement to the rest of the teams in the battlefield.
Well, is Brooke Point Class 5 or 6?
Class 6.
So, they're going to pick up some huge points if they win tonight.
Exactly. That's why they're going to the tougher schedule with North Stafford and Brooke Point.
Big schools, yeah. Here's Donbeck. He's in trouble. Then they had him. It looked like they had him. He was able to get rid of it.
Then where's the grounding on that? That should have been intentional grounding. He was already wrapped up.
Yeah, this is the second time
he didn't get it to the line of scrimmage. That should be a flag, and lost it down. See what the play call is. And still, let's go. You would say, yeah, there it is.
It is intentional grounding.
Yeah. It's lost it down.
And yardage.
Yeah.
Now, you And then really, it looks like Eastern View's taking control of this game now.
Yeah, they're forcing mistakes in on Brooke Point. Brooke Point looks their O-line looks tired because they've had to be able to sustain blocks, because of Dombeck, the way he scrambles around back there.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be lost down.
He's done a lot of scrambling. Yeah, they've got it. That down marker over there is third. They just don't have it on the scoreboard. Yeah.
They're down.
No, they just keep backing them up here. Brooke Point in a hole now. Ball at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, Brooke Point's not going to get cute back here, I wouldn't think, but.
They've got to get to the Eastern View 30 for a first down. Dombeck is throwing at a wide open receiver at the 20. Got across the 25 out to about the 27.
Ooh, he got a lot.
Yeah, he got a bunch of that back, didn't he?
Sure did. That's Eastern View did not want to see that, but now it's 4th down. Are they going to go for it?
On 4th and 3, what do you think? The final 25 seconds of this third quarter, they've lined up to go for it.
They're going to try to see if they can get them off sides.
See, the scoreboard says 3rd down, and the marker over there says 4th down.
Right. Yeah, tell them.
Long snap count. Dombeck throwing. Receiver caught enough for a first down, and that's how that third quarter is going to end. Somewhat of a positive note for Brooke Point there at the end, but otherwise that third quarter belongs to the Cyclones, and they lead 28-14 at the end of 3. We'll take a quick break and come back for the start of the fourth right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching Cyclones football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors. LocalSportsHistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at LocalSportsHistory.com.
More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service department and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast. Start of the fourth quarter. New set of downs for Brooke Point here on the slant. This pass is caught by number 5, Craig Guyton, with Jaheim Fry defending.
And Fry's got to not let him get that inside edge on that slant. He's got to really, lock up quick and tight. Don't give him that position.
Gabe Dombeck and his teammates find themselves in a position where they got to play come from behind, and they do pretty well to start this fourth quarter. A diving catch made by Jacob Dalton, and if that pass had been better thrown, he'd been in the end zone by now.
6, yes, sir.
Nothing against the Dombeck. I mean, he's doing what a lot of people can't do, but at the same time, now they find themselves, Dombeck and company, having to come from behind, Steve, down by 2 touchdowns. If I'm Eastern View, the way they're rolling, I don't think they'd do much different.
No, I wouldn't either. But you got to play better defensively. Now, is there a timeout on the field?
I think so.
Please call up your ride. I'll pick you up.
And so Coach Lowry's out there telling his defense, look, we can't give him too much of a cushion. You don't want to go into the play not to lose mode. Mm-hmm. You want to still play to win. And you got to get pressure again on Dombeck. He's a good catch by Dalton. For
23 yards on the play. Ball now at the Eastern View 35. You can see opening minute of the fourth quarter, Eastern View a 2-touchdown lead.
This game's got more stops.
I know, it is something that maybe a new world record.
What's going on now?
All right. This drive started at the Blackhawks 20. They have it down at the Cyclone 35. Dombeck going to throw. And trying to make it over the shoulder catch was, again, Jacob Dalton. Pretty good coverage out there. Able to bring it in.
Yeah, they're going to, Eastern View, I think, is trying to bait Brooke Point in with Dalton on one-on-one coverage, but the safety for Eastern View didn't get over. He's got to learn. You're putting your small corner on an island way out there. If you're going to make it for him hard to catch or play man-to-man, you better have safety help.
And Jacob Dalton is wide left. 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Robinson alongside Gabe Dombeck in that backfield on 2nd and 10. Here's Dombeck. Going to keep it. Got yardage. Yeah, picked up plenty of yards for a first down. Looks like he's going to go to bounds at about the 20. That's a gain of about 15, putting on the spot.
I thought it should have been a crackback block against Brooke Point, but the officials didn't call it. That freed up Dombeck. One of their linemen peeled back, but the official didn't pick it up.
14 yards on the carry by Gabe Dombeck. Ball now at the Eastern View 21. Robinson, the ball carries straight ahead, breaks one tackle, and can't get away from the grasp of Brett Clatterball, who brings him down at about the 15. Picked up 6 yards on first down.
And see, Eastern View wants to get a turnover here, or at least make them use more clock. Don't give them a quick score, because that means it could be lined up again for onside and try to get it back, get to tie it up.
They fake it to Robinson, and they throw it on the slant to the receiver there. It's number 21, Grady Alton, and he gets down to inside the 10. And it looks like the spot's going to be right at the 7, so 8 yards. And let's see. I think, can they get a first down here?
I don't know.
No, because he did pick up the first down. So it's 1st and goal from the 8 would be the official call here. Brooke Point looking to cut into that Eastern View lead.
And someone's called timeout. Looks like Brooke Point called timeout.
Might have been an official timeout.
Yeah. Equipment issue.
So now for the Blackhawks, they have it 1st and goal from the 8. You see the time, you see the score. Eastern View 28, Brooke Point 14. It was 14-7 at the half in favor of the Blackhawks. So 21 unanswered points by the Cyclones, and the Blackhawks looking to change that here. And another whistle. Steve, have you seen so much stoppage?
No, I haven't. What's this time? There's no flag.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Or is it a penalty on the defense?
I think he said it was against the defense.
So it'll be half the distance. So it's now going to bring it down to what, about
the
4?
4? Yeah, if it's half the distance from the 8 to the 4. Sure is. It's 1st and goal from there. I didn't see what happened. Must have been offsides. That's Corey Reed behind Gabe Dombeck, the quarterback. And they give it to Reed. And Reed is into the end zone from 4 yards out. Touchdown, Blackhawks. And make it a 1-score game.
Now Eastern View's got on offense. They get the ball. They're going to have to do some ball control and see if they can put more points on the board. Because even though they were up 14 against Brooke Point, you can never, you never count Brooke Point out.
No, they had a good first half, but up until this score here, this second half had belonged to Eastern View. Morrison on for the point after. This one's blocked.
Whoa.
That could loom large, as they say.
That's epic.
Well, I think the snap was high. he was able to get it down, but then the wave of black jerseys, someone got a hand on that ball. 28-20 our score. Could make for an interesting finale.
Could be. See, now Eastern View is going to have to play some mistake-free football, play again to win, not to lose. Get your players involved, your star players involved in that offense, and don't force anything.
You got it. Well, localsportshistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at localsportshistory.com. Also want to mention Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556.
Yeah, they miss Will Butler. I think Will Butler's in concussion protocol, but I don't see anything else injured on him. So
yeah. He was hurt in that Huguenot game. To what extent, I don't know.
Right.
28-20 our score.
There's number 17 beside him. He's hurt.
Steve, if you Brooke Point, are you going to try an onside kick here? I think it's
really too early. They might try a little pooch here, but they got to be ready to. The way they're lining up, but they might if they spread out. You better have your hands, people up front.
Yeah, they're bunched up, aren't they? The short kick fielded inside the 15-yard line. Out across the 20 and the 25 and to the 30, out to about the 32. And this was, I didn't see the number again, Steve.
6.
Is it 6?
6 or 9.
Ryan Dotson?
But anyway, you want to say, don't go out of bounds. You want the clock, want you to be your friend.
Yeah. Well, a lot of time, really.
Yeah.
9:52 to play.
Now you got, like I said, these are where your stars and your leaders step up right here. Gut check time.
Official hasn't put the ball down yet. Now it's right at the 32. All right, let's see what Eastern View does here after that Brooke Point score. Looks like Hull's going to throw it. Swings it out to Jaheim Fry at the 30. Drags the defender out to the 35. Pick up of 3 yards. 2nd and 7 on its way.
Clock running.
This broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 540-547-3673. I think Hull's taking his time, Steve.
Sure is. And why not?
Yeah, 2 receivers to the right.
He knows where the play clock is.
All right, here we go. Hull gets away from the pressure. Looks like he's going to keep it, and does. He picks up yardage, lowers his shoulder, gets into Brooke Point territory, down at about the 47-yard line.
And stays in bounds, too, because they're just going to stop just to move the chains.
About 18 yards on the pickup by A.P. Hull. (15 and 3), 18 yards. New set of downs for the Cyclones. And you see the clock ticking, and you're right, Steve. The clock can be a factor, particularly for Brooke Point now, as A.P. Hull will do this best to manage the clock and use it to the extent that they can.
Yep, and no mistakes.
This is Fry, the ball carrier. Waited for an opening, got one, got it behind a good block, found a crease, and then spurted through it for a big gain and another Cyclone first down. They're going to mark it down at about the 34. Pick up 13 yards and a first down.
And Mark, on that play, basically what's happening now is the Eastern View offensive line is starting to wear down the defensive front of Brooke Point. You can see it at the point of attack, those long runs. They're getting tired, so Brooke Point is. And that's just a simple handoff, and that's all they got to be doing right now.
Man, this one fumbled, and Hull gets the lucky bounce and pounces on it. Tried to hand it off to Fry, it got away from him, but it took a fortuitous bounce for the Cyclones, and Hull was able to pounce on it and keep possession.
I don't know what that was thrown off the field. It looks like some pad. But, yeah, it looked like something. When he handed it off, did his own man kick it out? Or well, that could have been a disaster right there for Eastern View.
Yeah, it could have been. Instead, there's no net gain or there's no loss except for the down. Well, actually, he lost 5 yards. My mistake, to the 39. 5-yard loss. He's got an open receiver, caught at the 15 and down about a yard shy of the goal line was number 3, DeAndre Brock.
And Brock's now got a cramp issue, but he's trying to
play.
get up there. It was a good play. It was a good play. Good pass by AP. He recognized the one-on-one that he had. He was down there in the corner. And now the ball looks like it's going to be placed right about the 1.
And you know, obviously Eastern View responding well to that last Brooke Point score, because Brooke Point had made it a one-score game, but now Eastern View coming back. They have it, looks like, at the 2. And they got Clatterball in the backfield. Will they snap it to him? It's to Hull. Clatterball will block for Hull, who waltzes into the end zone from 2 yards out. Touchdown, Eastern View.
Fear the win. Hull from 2 yards out to Cyclone. Touchdown.
And another 2-score lead for the Cyclones is 34-20. And Beckett Capolini will be on for the point after.
I'm getting an update here for Culpeper score.
We'll pass that along to you as we can. The snap, the hold, the kick. No good.
Culpeper 30 and Meridian 22. Final.
So Culpeper gets the win over Meridian, 30-22. Our score here, 34-20, in favor of the Cyclones. So back to a 2-score game. Brooke Point may find itself running out of time soon.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
Now, it's Eastern View's got a little more breathing room again, but now they're going to have to play some defense because, again, Brooke Point's going to try to go down quick and get a score. And then they'll try it onside and try to get it back. So you cannot let down here against Brooke Point, even though you're up 14 and 6:44 to go.
And, you know, I think one of the things that may be the most key in how the rest of this game plays out is what you mentioned a few minutes ago about how it looked like the offensive line of Eastern View might be wearing down the defenders. Steve?
Yep, I agree.
Here's the kick. Short. Better get on it. It's free. It is picked up by the return man there, number 12, Jordan Anderson. They were lucky, too.
That thing was a lot of running, but it's running the wrong way.
Well, I was going to say that the ball was live, and it took a while for them to get possession of it. And, you know, game of inches, they say.
I was hoping that Eastern View could have dove on that ball and made him pay for that.
Well, that's what I was thinking. They were pretty close to doing just that, I think.
So
looks like Brooke Point will have it at its own 35.
And what's the head ref doing? He's down looking up here at the scoreboard.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We're showing 6:31. They're showing 6:41.
I tell you, as efficient as Dombeck has been tonight, I mean, even if they were to go down the field and score, the way Eastern View's offense is clicking, it may not matter.
You're right. And now they're trying to get. I don't know why it's so hard to get everything set.
Well, we've had that. And we've had so many stoppages, Steve.
I know the officials have had a couple games to work out the.
Dombeck got away from Clatterball, made a cut, turned upfield, and turned what looked like was going to be nothing into something. Out to the 45, picked up 10 yards. He was able to elude the grasp of Brett Clatterball.
And number 4 is a little bit shaken up for Eastern View. He's number 4 for Eastern View.
Oh. Treska Hagan.
56 went in for him.
Curtis Young. Okay, 1st and 10. Dombeck, here comes the pressure. Looks like they're going to get him this time, and they do.
Yep.
And it was number 8, Dominic Simendinger.
Yep. Right, run the clock.
And he was really fired up. You know, they've gotten close so many times to Dombeck, and he's worked his magic for the most part, but not that time. I think they've sacked him 4 times here tonight.
The officials is really yelling up here. He's keeping the clock.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. All eyes are upon you. Lost 12 yards on the play. Dombeck throwing, got a receiver on the slant all the way out to midfield and then some.
Dombeck's got an arm, and he can sit back there and pick you apart.
Yeah.
Now, they're trying to hurry.
19-yard pickup into Eastern View, on the Eastern View side of midfield.
Fox continues to run.
Yep. Well, they need 2 scores, but they also need a defensive effort, does Brooke Point. And might be too much to ask at this point in the game. Dombeck's in trouble again. And he will not escape the grasp of Brett Clatterball. No, that's number 30, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, number 30, rather. Chase Hutchison.
And a flag just got thrown.
Chase Hutchison. He was pointing at his jersey, number 30.
Yeah, but he just got a flag, though, for taunting.
Well, no, they're calling it against Brooke Point.
Okay, good thing, because he was.
I thought that might be, I was sort of leaning in the direction you were thinking, Steve. But, yeah.
They should decline this since it's going to bring up, 4th down, isn't it? No, it's a dead ball foul. They can't decline. It's a dead ball.
Mm-hmm. All the way back to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, it's 4th and forever.
You remember, they had moved the ball out to the Eastern View 48. And now they have it at their own 25. And they have got to get to the Eastern View 45-yard line for a 1st down.
And they got this play. They better.
Dombeck pump fakes. Trouble again. Stepping up. Got some running room. He needs a bunch. He won't get quite enough.
Won't get quite enough. Eastern View will take over on downs.
Yeah. They sure will.
Man, it's a little bit, Dombeck, you can't fault him, man. The way he is, he's a whale of a quarterback. And like I said, Mark, we've seen some quarterbacks, but he's so far, I think, the best we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, but, I can't help but think that Eastern View, they went into the intermission. They probably recognized the things they needed to shore up, and they made those adjustments, Steve, because they owned the 3rd quarter.
Yep.
And now they're up by 2 touchdowns. And it looks like, barring a catastrophe, they're going to get the big win here tonight. They're going to pick up some big points beating Brooke Point tonight, assuming they do. Still got a ways to go, but the way this offense is firing now, it's just I think it's going to be tough for Brooke Point to really do anything. And look at this run here. This is Hopkins. Hopkins going to take it all the way. And oh, never mind. But hold your horses.
Yeah, we're coming
he
back.
Got his, he turned his loose, but looks like they may bring it back with a penalty flag down.
Holding.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 yards from that spot back.
We were just talking about how Eastern View's offense was clicking, and that, on that play right there, no one even touched him.
No one touched him. That tells me that Brooke Point's tired.
Yeah.
They're very tired. They couldn't keep up with him, but, you know, we had a hold call, and even that was even so far away from the play.
Yeah.
And so, still going to be first down.
So, Steve, tired, likely hungry, arguably worn out is Brooke Point right now.
Well, they did gain 5 yards, even though it was holding, but that was a good run right there by
Hopkins.
He showed me some speed right there.
Stays in the backfield with Hull. Mason settled, top of your screen, far right. Brett Clatterball at the bottom of your screen. Hull goes back to Hopkins. Makes the cut, goes straight ahead. Picked up a few yards.
Just let that clock run.
Yeah, well, the clock obviously the friend to Eastern View at this point.
And I don't think you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see too many pass plays here. I think you're going to see it, run.
Mm-hmm. Like second down at about 4 here. Working the clock, taking their time, doing a good job with that. AP Hull. Back to Hopkins. This time he runs into a couple white jerseys. And they stop him near the line of scrimmage. It was number 80, Liam Sullivan, on the tackle for Brooke Point.
They're just going to be, Eastern View is going to keep the ball running here.
Working the clock, you can see it tick away. You know, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. All right. Working the clock masterfully is AP Hull. Hopkins, the ball carrier. Went to the outside, then cut it back, and then was greeted by a host of white jerseys. But more importantly, clock continues to run. It's going to be a big win for Eastern View here tonight, Steve.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a big win for Brooke Point. Now the clock is stopped.
Looks like they called the timeout. Well, we'll tell you that our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and of the Culpeper community. UVAcreditunion.org. Yeah.
Yeah, Brooke Point used one of his timeouts. Okay.
Well, again, it was 14-7 Brooke Point at the half.
Right.
And I think we had 21 unanswered points by Eastern View. Made it 28-14. Brooke Point came back with a score, but then Eastern View immediately responded. And they've kept it now a two score game. And again, AP Hull doing a really good job of working that clock.
Yep, he sure has.
Now, however, they are looking at a 4th and 7, and they have lined up to punt this ball away.
Yeah, I don't think Eastern View's going to fake it, even though Brooke Point has no one back.
And this is Hull, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. standing at the 45.
They didn't
High
notice.
snap. Gets it down. Here's his kick. Short. Not going to be a return. Will take somewhat of a cyclone roll, and they'll down it inside the Brooke Point 30. So the Blackhawks have 2 minutes and a half to work with here. They need 2 scores, and that's asking a lot of this team, particularly the way Eastern View has played in the second half. Steve, it's really, I know it's cliche, but it really has been a tale of 2 halves.
It has, and I mean, Eastern View just came out in the second half, loaded. I mean, they wanted to impart their identity on to Brooke Point, and they did that.
And I think really, when you think about how this game is played out, that Coach Lowry and his assistants have to get a lot of credit for the adjustments that they made at the intermission and to see their team dominate pretty much here in the second half.
Because you had a hot quarterback in Dombeck.
Yeah. And he's throwing, and the receiver coming back on the ball. Looks like he's made the catch.
He dropped it.
Did he? That was a guy who's had a pretty good game here tonight, Jacob Dalton. We've gone to him frequently. He's delivered for the most part, but getting down to the late stages of this game, and
what I was getting ready to tell you is that the offensive line, I think, took over in the second half. They were able to get their blocks and get the defensive line on their feet of Brooke Point, back of their feet.
Okay, here's Dombeck. This time, he seems to have a little time until finally he's flushed from the pocket, throws, and it's caught along the sidelines by Craig Guyton. That'll be a first down for Brooke Point. Well, they have to score quickly, but they have to do a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, once the chains are set, the clock starts running again. But that was a good throw and a good catch. But again, like I said, Eastern View in the second half came out a totally different team.
They really did. And, they harassed Gabe Dombeck in the first half. They just couldn't catch up with him but a couple times. But in the second half, this has been a lot like this. And you see that where Dombeck is in the grass, when he throws to get rid of it, he avoids the sack. But then you get good coverage from your Eastern View secondary as well.
Yeah, that was a good play called on by Eastern View. Was able to knock that ball out. But he also get pressure on Dombeck, too, from the backside.
So you look back on this, Steve, and you pinpoint where you think perhaps the biggest turning point may have been at the line.
Line of scrimmage. Eastern View was dominated in the second half.
2nd and 10 from the Eastern View 43. Dombeck under pressure and loses it. His teammate pounces on it there. That's Robinson.
Yeah, number 4 for Culpepper. It looks like he's got Eastern View, so he's got cramp.
Detreska Hagen. Been a few of those here tonight.
Yep. Now he's an injury timeout, whereas that was a sack and the clock should have been running.
Coach Lowry's out there.
Yeah, he just had a cramp. When they walk like that, stiff-legged like that, that means you got a cramp.
Nothing will really make you react so strongly as when you get a cramp,
Yeah. Now the officials should start the clock on their signal.
And I signal you.
There you go.
There you go. Clock resumes running now. You're looking at the score and the time. Here's Dombeck. Over the middle. He's got a receiver at the 30, 25, and out of bounds at the 20, and that's our man, Jacob Dalton. He's had a big game here tonight.
Sure has. He's a big target.
Now, technically it's not over, but the odds of Brooke Point coming back here, not so good, I think.
Well, they set the chains and start the clock.
Yeah.
And I think Brooke Point doesn't have any timeouts either.
Well, we expected a competitive game coming in, and we've had one. Don Beck throwing. This one caught inside the 5-yard line down to the 2. And it's Guyton again, Craig Guyton, the receiver.
I'm telling you, there's still some fight here. I mean, I'm a little nervous.
Things are going to run out of time when it's all said and done. Throwing incomplete. And this was batted down. He had a receiver open. With the line play there by Eastern View, the player was able to bat it down.
And the clock's still running. If it's batted down, it should be stopped.
Right.
And incomplete.
Curtis Young on the deflected pass for the Cyclones.
All right, now 2nd down.
And goal from the 3. That's Robinson in the backfield alongside Gabe Dombeck. Here he is. Throwing for the end zone. Flag comes down. This one's caught by Craig Guyton. Let's check the call.
Touchdown. Now, Eastern View saying he pushed off.
Well, there is a flag.
Yeah. Is it pass interference? Looks like.
Pass interference against.
Against Brooke Point. That
Oh.
was declined.
It's against Brooke Point penalty.
Why would you do?
I know. Because it's 3rd down. Why would you decline it? They can go 4th down. I would take the penalty. Now come back 15 yards.
Okay, so the receiver did not catch the ball?
You guess as good as mine.
You're now confused.
I thought he caught the ball in the end zone.
I did too.
And they're saying no, as he pushed off. It's pass interference, and Eastern View is declined.
Okay. Now.
Because it's 4th down.
Another lining up to go for a field goal. And now I'm confused again. Why would you line up to go for a field goal, Steve?
Watch the fake.
Okay.
Well, because, see, then they can tie it, if they get the onside kick.
Well, they're down by 14.
Yep, that's true. I don't know why you're down. What is this?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
Yeah, you'd be down 11. How'd you going
to. I don't know. They must be smarter than I, though. But they are lining up for a field goal.
Watch the fake.
Well, I know. There's that.
I guess they want to try it and just work on it.
20-yard field goal apparently on its way. It's good. All right, so now 34 to
23, because I know why it was 4th down. They didn't get in the end zone. No points. We were taking over. So I guess Coach Hazelwood, Brooke Point, wanted to at least get some points on the board.
Right. Well, why isn't it 34 to 23?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. He got the touchdown. That's what happened.
Huh? They did?
I don't know.
There's no touchdown. Oh.
So it was a touchdown.
Okay.
Okay,
gotcha.
So it was a touchdown. We saw the receiver catch the ball. Then there was a interference, and Eastern View declined it, right?
Yeah, Eastern View declined it. No, Brooke Point, it was defensive pass interference. Brooke Point got the touchdown, and then we declined. Wait a minute.
And there was no field goal attempt. That would have been ridiculous.
It would have been ridiculous. So I'm confused here.
I'm glad you are, because
what had happened?
Now I don't feel like the Lone Ranger.
I know.
And so we've got, our public address announcer, Sean.
He's saying that they accepted it was a touchdown, and the penalty was against, I guess, no, if it was against Brooke Point, they wouldn't have scored when the touchdown would have stood.
Exactly, that would have negated the score.
So the penalty was on EV touchdown, and then they declined the penalty and took the touchdown.
Right, but if the penalty was on Eastern View, they didn't say that.
Right.
They said it was against Brooke Point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're confused, it's welcome to the club.
Yeah, see, now look, 7-point lead.
No, now that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
That they, it looked ridiculous to go for a field goal.
Yeah,
but,
so that couldn't. Why would you want to be down 11?
Well, I'm glad I can look back and laugh at it. But it's a one-score game again, 34 to 7. And here's the squib kick onside, and Eastern View has recovered it. Well, that's just really confusing, Steve.
It is.
Huh? Yeah. All right, thank you.
Oh, you're saying that
And they did get it. This game is not over, but Sean.
No, they reversed it. Look.
Now, okay.
Now they reversed it. Yeah.
But so
They
Sean Somerville came over. He's a public address announcer. He said they made the penalty call. They said it was against the wrong team.
Right.
That's where the confusion came.
Yeah. Now it's Eastern View got the ball. So.
And now Eastern View can
just
close out the final few seconds, and there shouldn't be anything confusing about that.
Yeah, Coach Lowry's not too happy with the officiating crew. I am not either. The way they.
Well, at first they said it was Brooke Point's ball.
Yeah, that they recovered it. And I was going to say, uh-oh.
You were about ready to say Ruh-roh George Jetson.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, geez, I kept saying, what did the officials pointed the wrong way?
They did, and then they made the call down there where they assessed it. They said it was against the other team, and it wasn't. So anyway.
Coach for Brooke Point is over there telling the officials, you called it. What do you mean you reversed it? I thought, no, Eastern. What are the officials doing? Oh, timeout, Brooke Point.
All right. Well, let me tell you that.
Where are we going next week?
Well, hang on just a second. Our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and of the Culpeper community. UVAcreditunion.org. Let's take a look at who's in action next week. We said that Eastern View, don't they go to Caroline next week?
They go to Caroline.
And Culpeper, I think they're playing home to Cortland. Let me check the schedules while we have. Eastern View is away at Caroline. Culpeper, which was a winner tonight over Meridian, formerly George Mason, will be at home next week to Cortland.
It looks like the clock's going to let the clock run out. It'll be a big win here for Eastern View tonight.
And Steve, what time will we actually be getting out of here tonight after the 1,000 stoppages?
It is, let me see, 10 after 10.
All right,
10,
final seconds ticking off. Let's wrap it up because this one's going in the books as a big win for Eastern View, 34-27. They beat Class 5 or Class 6 Brooke Point.
Brooke Point's Class 6.
All right, let's wrap it up quickly then in the time we have left.
Well, good win for Eastern View. They dominated the second half, especially the line of scrimmage, and their star players came out and did the job for them in the second half.
Yeah, Eastern View trailed at the intermission 14-7, and they end up winning 34-27. Congratulations to Coach Lowry, his assistants, and the Eastern View players tonight for this big, really second half effort that propelled them to victory. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. For Johnny and Steve, I'm Mark O'Connell saying thanks for watching and supporting Cyclones football here on the Culpeper Media Network. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week. Place to be determined, right?
Yeah, but there's some players getting a little chippy here. They had to bring back Will Butler over there. You know, there's no sense in that. You don't be chirping.
Well, that'll do it for us tonight.
Yep.
All right. So long, everybody. We'll see you next time.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors. LocalSportsHistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at LocalSportsHistory.com.
More than just a respected funeral home, Found & Sons supports youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service department and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive.